60 south, and then sunshine from start to finish on Friday, highs in the upper 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
For details.
Here we go. From the Busch Light Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
For this town is a pigskin paradise.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
We've talked a lot about the number of times you've been here. What about the first time you were coaching international championship game? What was that like?
Well, you know, the first time I really tried to get the players to stay focused on what they needed to do to play. The first meeting we had about first practice. Don't worry about the outcome. Focus on what you have to do to dominate your box, to dominate the guy you have to play against, and assume that's going to be the best player you ever played against. So I say all that. I sell all of that. I get to the day of the game, and I tell my son, I am so nervous about this game. I'm anxious.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
So we thought it was a pretty big possibility that Nick Saban was going to move to ESPN and College Game Day. And now it is reality. Not only is he going to be working on College Game Day, he's going to be doing some NFL draft coverage, SEC Media Days appearances also planned for the former Alabama, LSU, Michigan State, and other coaching stops that he has made throughout his career, both in the collegiate level and the NFL level. I'm personally excited. Always enjoyed listening to him at SEC Media Days when he was on College Game Day. He's a natural at it. People are drawn to him for a variety of different reasons, and it seemed like just an easy hire for ESPN. Don't know reportedly how much money he's going to make just yet, but Tommy, I would guess he's not doing it for free.
Well, there's a variety of reasons, but yeah, you're right. He's going to get paid and probably paid really well for his appearances there. We're brought to you by the Smithwick Original, Suspending Rattling Rogue, whether it's Beaver Lake, Table Rock, or the White River. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will help you catch that trophy bass or that trophy brown or rainbow on the White River. It's got that famous rolling action, whether it's fished extremely slow or worked in a fast, heavy current. This rogue suspends in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Find the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
He's the big fish in the media sphere. I don't know if he even speculated or contemplated working for Fox. I always thought it was going to work for ESPN. He's been on with Corso, McAfee, Herb Street, and those guys before, and it's been pretty good. Like, the chemistry is there, and I'm excited to see if he's on. I would guess he's going to be on set live each and every week. I don't think they're going to remote him in. Could be wrong about that, but I did see Corso is coming back. They made sure to put that back out there. It seems like McAfee's coming out too, so they'll have a pretty good-sized set next year with all these different analysts they'll have up.
They'll have to rotate them in, but they're going to pay him a lot of money, I'm sure, comparative to the other ones on the set. Maybe Herb Street could make more, perhaps, but you're not going to pay him that kind of money and have the your franchise show to not have him out there. But Nick Saban needs this too. And you think, well, what in the world does Nick Saban need this for? Well, he needs to keep his brand attached to the SEC because that's who his brand is, right? And whereas his insights probably carry the most weight, it's with the Southeastern Conference, who has all the SEC games. That would be ESPN. Who's he worked with the most over his coaching tenure from a media standpoint when it comes to TV? ESPN. So all of this makes sense, but Saban's got to keep himself visible, at least during football season, to some degree, to keep the brand of Nick Saban going. Now, it wouldn't wane anytime soon, but for Nick Saban to still carry the weight of being Nick Saban, Aflac spokesperson and other things he does, Regions Bank, he'll be able to do those things for a long time, but you got to remain visible. And there's not a more visible post than College Game Day to be on.
we see guys and gals on television that get another crack at their professional league, whether it's playing or coaching or in a executive role, like Rex Ryan, for example, who was recently interviewed by the Dallas Cowboys, who hadn't coached in 7 years. So when you're in that role, you're visible, like you're saying. And I think for him, this is not the only thing he's going to be doing for college football this year outside of his supposed advisor role for Alabama, which, by the way, on National Signing Day, I thought it was funny that he was at the Waste Management Open in Phoenix or Scottsdale, wherever it is, right outside of there. So he was playing golf on that day as Alabama and others were trying to sign the last few bits of players that are going to be able to do so, I think, till Friday at this point. Again, you've got to find a role for him in the college football world, whatever it is, whether it's Charlie Baker in the NCAA, which some think it's coming to its demise, whether it's the college football playoff. He has to be not just an additive on the media side. He's actually got to be a guy that has power and has control when it comes to the structure of not just this sport, but other sports as well.
Well, he may not have control, but he has something maybe greater than that now, and that's influence. So, I mean, he doesn't have to be appointed to a board. He doesn't have to be, and I don't know why you'd want to work with the NCAA. They have no power over college football and its structure other than NIL and some of those things. But maybe he helps with the college football playoff capacity in some role. But, hey, you retired for a reason, so you can go play golf at the Waste Management Open. The last thing I'd want to do with the financial situation he's apparently in is tie myself down to a bunch of things that eat up my time. I might as well coach if I want to have my days all chewed up with other things going on.
Well, I think it's still like television. It would be a lesser role. It would be something that he would be able to, again, work his schedule around a lot more than coaching. I was told.
Yeah, but you just gave him 4 different jobs a minute ago.
To pick one. I mean, to figure something out.
Then he has. He picked TV.
Well, in addition to that, I think he'd find something.
You don't retire to have 2 jobs.
But he's not, again, he's not retiring. This is a perfect example that he still wants to have influence. He's not.
He already has influence.
Yeah, but this is, again, trying to add to it at this point. He's not done. This is just, I think, the beginning at this point. He's not going to work those from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. like he supposedly did during the college football season. It's not going to be that. You can still work a job or two like Clay does, like we have some other people that are semi-retired that aren't consumed by magazine
he's
publications.
Going to slow down. That's the best way to say it.
But he's not. This is not going to be the only announcement we hear about Nick Saban in terms of another job.
You're probably right. I mean, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities for him just to put his name on things. People are going to want to attach his name, his brand to stuff, and how much he's involved, how much responsibility he'll have is another conversation. So you'll hear multiple announcements because people are going to be willing to write him a big check just to associate their name with Coach Saban.
I got a text from one of my friend's fiancés where, again, on Sundays, my day is consumed by Scott Hansen of the NFL Network with Red Zone. And he was paid, I would guess, a good amount of money to do their seminar or webinar or whatever. And it's like 12 hours of commercial-free football starts right. He started, or 8 hours, whatever it is, and he started 8 hours of great sales training starts right now. Saban is going to be able to command, I would say, as much as anyone in the United States when it comes to public speaking appearances, that type of thing. So he's going to be allowed to do that. And again, you mentioned the wealth aspect. Him just getting, he's already got, I think, 6 car dealerships, a couple in Nashville, a couple some other places. They just want to partner with him to have his name, and he's not probably having to do anything. He just gets to really recoup the money that's made out of these deals.
Well, and, I think, let's get back to where we started, and that's his role as a TV analyst. I think that's where, I think he will do well there. I think pretty much anything he wants to do well at, he puts the time into, he will. And I think it's probably bad news for Fox and their big noon kickoff pregame show. I don't even know what they call it. That's part of the problem with Fox is, I know Urban Meyer and that crew that's on there, but it's not the show of record. And now the show of record becomes even heavier with Nick Saban on it. All right, that's where we begin this morning. We're brought to you by the Inn at the Mill, the place we stay when we're in Northwest Arkansas. It's conveniently located off exit 69, off I-49, so it's in the heart of everything in Northwest Arkansas, close to the campus to get to a game, close to to Benton County, and getting up there to Crystal Bridges or to do some shopping or any of the great restaurants around town, close to all the local big employers as well, close to the Naturals ballpark. Big, oversized, spacious room, fast, free internet, great breakfast to start the day, and the friendliest staff you'll ever meet. 479-443-1800, 443-1800, or online at inatthemill.com.
All right, more on Nick Saban and other news coming up.
I guess there's pros and cons to procreating.
Most of the pros are over at the very beginning of the process.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV. Now through the end of February, we're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is The Morning Rush.
Jam-packed house here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Sunday, February 11th. There's only one event on everyone's mind. The store-wide 30% off sale at Diamond Center. From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., everything in the store is 30% off. That leaves you plenty of time to do your shopping before the big game. Plus, test your throwing arm in the football toss for a chance to win up to an additional 10% off your purchase. Diamond Center, Sunday, February 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 30% off store-wide. Don't fumble this opportunity. Diamond Center, 151 West Dixon in Fayetteville and 4700 Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hey, Wes. Billy, hay is for horses. Are my ears that long?
Oh, you got me again. I'm going to order a large Boss Hog pizza for fishing tomorrow.
That's a lot of food. You taking a friend?
No, sir. I'm going to use it as bait.
Pizza as bait for fishing?
Yes, the catfish love some Jim's Razorback pizza.
They do?
Yes, they chase the bacon faster than green grass through a goose.
Bacon? Never would have thunk it.
Yup, and they come right to the river's edge when I call them too. Woo! Fish suey!
Oh, blessed Billy. All right, son, have fun fishing.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine. On North 11th Street is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. Also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith. 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Ty, you're right on, spot on, and I'm with you, buddy. Thank you, sir.
Ellis drives the paint, kicks it away. Right wing, Devo's open, three-pointer good. Devo with a three, his first of the night. Arkansas by 10.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
So John from Mountain Home texted in on the McClarty Daniel hotline. He's saying if Nick Saban is the broadcaster on his television, he's going to mute the TV. I don't know if a lot of Arkansas fans, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm misjudging. Again, in our last conversation, if you haven't heard, Nick Saban is coming to ESPN. He's not going to, Tommy, based on the press release, it doesn't sound like he's going to be a game analyst. No. He's going to be on shows and coverage, not during the midst of an actual, as a color analyst.
Well, that's exactly what it said. So, yeah, he won't be doing games. So, you don't want to hear what Nick Saban has to say, don't watch College Game Day. You'll watch the draft coverage on ESPN. So, simple enough.
John, I don't think you're a lot of people are in your same camp, buddy. But that's you. If you don't want to mute it, or if you don't listen to him, don't listen to him.
Hey, warm up with hot preseason savings on your choice of New Holland equipment right now at WT Equipment. Now is the time to find the model you want with the best savings to go along with it. Here's some options for you: 0% financing for 60 months, or a free front end loader on compact tractors. Get 0% or cash back on mid-range tractors and select a hay tool as well. Or get up to $40,000 cash back on a new T7 Series tractor. Hurry into WT Equipment today and shop their huge selection of in-stock inventory. Hey, and whatever the model you choose, you'll get reliable quality, efficient power, and an easy-to-operate package sure to handle a wide range of chores. Hurry to WT Equipment today and take home a truckload of savings when you buy now. This offer ends March 31st. Find a location at WTEquip.com. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
So the text was cut off, and I anticipated rather than getting to the full. Johnny Mountain Home actually said some people mute their TV so they don't have to listen to the announcers. If Saban starts calling the games, I wish there was a way I could mute the game and just listen to him. So he actually likes Saban. Oh. The text was cut off. John, I apologize. Again, anticipate you said something because the text was cut off at this point. Andy Mountain Home says, I don't like Saban, but I respect the heck out of him. How can you not? I think that's probably a way a lot of fans feel listening. I mean, you never beat him. 07 to last year. You had a chance in Tuscaloosa. You had a chance in 2010. Had a chance in 2014 and had a chance in 2007. Those were the closest games and came up short every time. Every single time, which is such a bummer. You beat him when he was in LSU. I think at least twice, but Tuscaloosa, no dice, Tommy. No dice.
I don't know what to add to that. I mean, we've been talking about that for nearly 20 years, so I don't know what else to say to that.
All right, let's see. Smack Daddy said he saw the question on Facebook talking about the Super Bowl. He said that he's going to be poolside on a cruise ship watching the Super Bowl for the next 7 days. So he gets the luxury of going on a cruise ship, Tommy, and getting to watch the Super Bowl.
Maybe the best way to watch a Super Bowl right there.
Yeah, I'm going to a Super Bowl party for half, but the second half I'm going to watch it at my house. I think it's going to be, I was telling you before the show, I think it's going to be a really good game. So I don't want the distractions of a party and the annoyance of people talking and stuff. I actually want to watch the game. I'm not always a huge fan of watching a game at a party if there's people that are there that don't care about the game. Yeah, I am that guy.
You're that guy, huh?
I'm not the only guy that's like that. I'm not the only guy that's like that. The social aspects are important when it's a game that doesn't matter. But when it's a game that, again, I think is not, we know it's consequential. It's Super Bowl, decides the NFL champion. But it's a game that I think it's going to be great, then I don't want the other stuff in the background when it's the fourth quarter and people are driving and someone's talking about something that's not related to this game at all.
Again, you'll be that guy. So let me get this right. You're going to show up. You're going to eat someone else's food. You're going to drink their drinks. You're going to double dip, probably in the cheese dip, and then you're going to leave.
I'm going to bring something, but yeah.
You're going to do all that. You're going to just show up, eat all their wings, eat all their pizza, and then get out of there.
I'm going to contribute something to this said party, and then I'm going to leave at the half. Yes. Are you going to stay for the full entourage, whatever you're going to this weekend?
Absolutely.
That just doesn't sound fun to me. I don't like, again, when it's a massive game, and it's different if everyone there is a fan, but the Super Bowl, as we've talked about, there's people that go just for the event itself, just for the social aspect, and I'm a football fan that wants to watch the game, especially when it gets to crunch time. And I don't want that other crap going on.
Just don't hang
in
around.
the
He's
midst
a
of
serious football
great
fan,
game.
folks.
I'm not
He's
the only
going
one.
to take notes.
I'm not the only one.
He's going to be taking notes at the Super Bowl party.
Just appreciate the ones that are there to watch.
You're not doing the show on Monday, so I have to get ready for Monday. So, yeah, I have to take notes and make sure that I'm ready for Monday's show where there's going to be a lot of reaction, a lot of conversation surrounding what could be Patrick Mahomes' third Super Bowl in 5 years, or is it going to be Brock Purdy's first and Dre Greenlaw's first, which they got there years ago, and we'll see what pans out on Sunday.
I'll be breaking down the BLT sour cream dip versus the white cheese dip. Which one was better? That's what I'll be breaking down.
That's important. That is important to decide, again, what is the better entree.
I got to tell you, Ty, I really thought Ice Chest number 3 could have used an extra bag of ice. That beer was probably close to 36 degrees.
Should have been 32. Below, I guess alcohol can't freeze. So it'd be like right at 33 or 34 degrees.
I've tried for a long time, but for over 30 years to freeze it, I can't figure it out.
Can't get it
Have
done.
you tried watching a game at a sports bar? Most people there, I would assume, would want to watch the game.
But most people don't go to that's one reason we quit doing watch parties as a station for the Super Bowl, because you get some people to show up. Most wanted to leave at half because they were old like me. But people have their tradition. Hey, I always watch the Super Bowl with these people. I go to this person's house. The Super Bowl, I'm not saying you don't go to a restaurant, but most people don't. I mean, that's not like the busiest sports night of the year for restaurants is in sports bars. It's the Super Bowl. It's just not.
Yeah, I agree. It's different. It's a different feel. Razorback games.
It's a potluck deal.
Yeah, Razorback games I feel like are a lot easier to get people at the sports bar, but this game is not for whatever reason. I like the homie aspect to that being a little bit, but there's some years I don't really care, but this year is one of those years that I again think it's going to be a great game. It could be a blowout. I mean, there's such a quarterback discrepancy between Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy that maybe Mahomes just goes wild like he's done before and they blow him out. Or San Francisco gets hot and KC reverts back to the offense that they've been much of this year. So I hope it doesn't end up either of those ways. I just want to see a great football game. I honestly don't care that much who wins. I just want it to be tight down the stretch.
Me and Laura are getting away for a little Valentine's getaway this weekend, so I won't be here Monday, but I'm looking forward to watching the game with her. She doesn't normally pay attention at all, but this year to the Chiefs, because of Taylor Swift, she has. So it will actually be fun this year because, rather than her in there cleaning the kitchen or trying to figure out how to get meat on the road earlier, she's going to be all in on watching the game. So this will be different for me as well. The Taylor Swift effect will have its positives this year. She'll be actually locked into the game a little bit.
And on Valentine's Day, you don't have to avoid watching the game on Valentine's Day weekend, which is nice.
There you go. Hey, the team at Matchstick Studios in Fayetteville has created an affordable website solution for businesses. It's called Modular Orange. We've told you about it for a while. Modular Orange is a website design and development tool that allows businesses to have a custom website at an extremely affordable price. Well, how affordable, Tommy? How about $95 a month? Well, what does that include? Everything. They'll help you write it, design it, host it. They put it all together, and they'll update it as needed on a monthly or weekly or however often basis you need. And everything's taken care of, the hosting, the security, all of it. 479-755-3043, Modular Orange, or go to modularorange.com.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Hey, everybody, this is Freddie Coleman of Freddie and Fitzsimmons of ESPN Radio, and you are listening to The Morning Rush.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV. Now through the end of February, we're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business?
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when He does, people will try and hide their faces from Him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
Okay. You got me there.
You win that.
Got me there.
You win that argument.
All right, you got me there.
We will, I guess, address the Devo news that came out on Monday night. I know that we hadn't talked a lot of basketball this week leading up to Georgia because there's more important things like the Super Bowl, Nick Saban getting hired at ESPN, and a couple other topics we want to dive into this morning on Too Stupid Thursday, like Brock Purdy being asked about comparisons to Lee Harvey Oswald. Lee Harvey Oswald. I mean, how the hell do you answer that?
That's fun.
The guy that supposedly single-handedly, don't believe that for a second, assassinated JFK. Hey, Brock, you look like Lee Harvey Oswald. What do you have to say to that? What the hell are you supposed to say to that? Golly. Chuck, I heard you going a rant about stupid questions earlier this week from the media, and I heard that, and I was like, that is the prototypical example.
That's one of them. That's for sure.
Golly.
At the Super Bowl Media Day, it is on display. We'll get to it in just a minute. We're brought to you by the Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. I can tell you myself because they built some custom gates for my fence. They didn't build the fence right away, but they built the gates to go with the fence because the previous gates were old, worn out, and sagging, and just weren't opening and closing right. Now the Fence Man's fixed that, and they did it quick. They did it affordably. And they look great. And they got 18 months same as cash financing that's available for bigger projects as well. If you need a fence, gates, or anything that involves the fence, call the Fence Man, 782-3936, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
So is that a dumber question than what Todd Bowles, the Tampa Bay coach, was asked about playing in a dome and the weather?
No,
even
the
though the dome's the worst question?
That was worse.
Okay. Well, you can't really hear the reporters.
Does Purdy actually look like Lee
He
Harvey?
does kind of look like him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here looking at the pictures right now. He does kind of look like him.
So important stuff here on 632 on the Morning Rush. But listen, you can't really hear the reporter, but listen to Brock.
Do you like grassy knolls?
Yeah.
I haven't. That's my first time hearing it. Yeah.
What do you think about that comparison? Physical comparison, obviously.
Yeah.
You don't see it?
I don't know.
I mean, you're in a no-win situation there. It's like, yeah, I look like him. I look like the guy that supposedly single-handedly assassinated JFK.
Well, these guys know going into Super Bowl Media Day, they're going to get some weird questions. I mean, they know but now that's one I doubt anyone ever anticipated.
He wasn't prepped for that one.
That's the point. I mean, the goal among some of these people is to ask the question that nobody ever saw coming. Like, hey, do you know you look like Lee Harvey Oswald?
I was there is.
I guess the proper response wouldn't be, I hope to be as accurate as he was his day.
Yeah.
I guess that probably would not be the correct answer, right?
Too soon. Too soon.
Okay.
A little too
well,
soon.
It's only been 50-something years.
Oh, too soon still.
All right.
All right, so that was a bad question.
Strike that from the record.
Yeah, that was a bad question. A good question would be when Travis Kelce was asked about Dre Greenlaw. Had a lot of good things to say.
Greenlaw's he's a dog, man. He's unbelievable. Every single time we play against him, he gets me quite a bit of times, and I know I'm definitely going to be put in some situations for some one-on-one matchups against him.
Now, there's a lot of people that will bet on Travis Kelce to win the MVP because they want to see him up there with Taylor Swift, the acceptance trophy, blah 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 blah. But
we want to see him pop the question, all right? That's what you're hoping for.
This is I think it's going to be an awesome matchup, and it's going to be great. We mentioned like Ragnow and Dre going up against each other, two former teammates, but you maybe have the best tight end in the country, best versus maybe the best Arkansas Razorback currently in the National Football League that I know Fred Warner gets the credit a lot of times when the linebacker corps for Drake Greenlaw, but he's a lot different player than the last time they were here in 2020, where similar situation. He's just a little more mature and a little older, but still has to figure out how to try and get Travis Kelce, which the last team that tried to do that, and the Baltimore Ravens, failed miserably.
Well, I think the first thing you have to realize is it's not basketball. I mean, you don't put Greenlaw on Kelce every play. I mean, there are going to be plays where they're matched up, and there will be plays where they're not matched up. I do think that how the 49ers play Kelce, and for the other side, how the Chiefs play Kittle, I think that's going to go a long way in deciding the outcome of this game. I could see either one of those tight ends being the MVP in this game.
Kittle's a heck of a player. Kelce said earlier this week that he thinks he, as referencing Kittle, is the best tight end in the National Football League. That's something that Brett Good always talks about. When you look at these NFL teams that are consistently making Super Bowls, not that they don't have great quarterbacks, but that is the position a lot of times that's the great equalizer because linebackers are too slow, safeties are too small, and you look at those two guys' body types and the way they've dominated the NFL, that's why San Francisco and really KC has been successful.
Well, you don't see an abundance of downfield passing in the NFL. And the tight end is, he's that mid-range guy. And both these tight ends are exceptional. I mean, they're athletic. It's not a mismatch. You better put a really good, fast defender. But now, again, it's not basketball. And it's not a one-on-one matchup every time. You're going to get zone a good bit. And so there are all sorts of things that come into play. But I do think both defenses have their hands full with the other side's tight end.
Well, and if you look at it from a 49ers defensive perspective, you pull one of those linebackers out because the tight ends, drug him off on a route, you leave a hole open, then Mahomes gets loose, and, he's either going to make a miraculous throw somewhere else or take off and move the chains. I mean, that's the danger with Mahomes and kind of leaving that zone.
I just want to see the show. I like the show of the Super Bowl. I'm sure it'll be a good game. You got two great teams. I'm not going to try to break down the matchup other than to say I think the tight ends are both really good, and I think either or both could go off. But I just like the show of the Super Bowl.
Is Mahomes clearly the best player in this game?
I don't think clearly, but he's a good player, and he's arguably the best player in this game.
McCaffrey's the only one that has a word about that. It's him or McCaffrey at this point. Now, I would say in front of the show, I sounded like an old curmudgeon earlier, Chuck.
He did.
Let me rephrase. I sounded
Listen
like
to this.
half a curmudgeon. I'm going to go half a curmudgeon. I'm going to go to a friend's house with food in hand. Not going to show up empty-handed. With food in hand, probably sausage balls because I can't do without sausage balls on Super Bowl. And then at halftime, I like Usher. I used to listen to him back in the day, but I don't really care about this halftime show. I'm going to leave and go watch the game at my house because I think it's going to be a heck of a game. And I was just getting blasted earlier in the show for that reasoning that I should be saying the full slate, full game. And that just doesn't sound...
Well, you're not really laying it out the way you did before. You want to go home and watch because there will be people there that don't
distractions.
That don't take the game serious, and I want to watch this thing, and I'm taking this thing seriously.
They don't take it seriously. You mentioned the show aspect. That's what this is. There'll be 100-something million people. I think it was 117 that watched it last year. That number's going to go up. T Swift and everything else, that will be probably like 125, 130 million this year. And half those people don't even care about the game.
Yeah.
I actually care about the game.
Talking about my wife now. Yeah.
She doesn't care about the game.
No, she cares about
She's
Taylor
in that
Swift.
camp.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear about Taylor Swift on a fourth down play when Purdy's got a chance to win the game. Yeah. I don't care about that. I care about, hey, is Purdy going to find Brandon Ayuk for a fade route in the second half? Now, first half, it's just like whatever. Second half, I don't want distractions. Am I an old curmudgeon for thinking that way,
Well,
too?
I don't know that you're an old curmudgeon. I used to watch it. I used to do the Super Bowl like that. I would go to a gathering for a half, and then I'd go home and watch the But now a lot of the times it's because the game was a blowout. But I understand wanting to watch the game. You know what I want to see happen? I kind of would like to see Kansas City win because all the people that just go ballistic and get so mad over Taylor Swift and Kelsey and all the people that say it's fixed and all this stuff. I just want to see their heads explode.
You just want to stir the pot, huh?
I just want to see their heads explode. I mean, truthfully, what I would really like to see are Dre Greenlaw and Brandon Allen have the opportunity to, put a Super Bowl ring on and win the championship and all that. But the part of me who enjoys, the other side of it, wouldn't mind at all seeing Kansas City win and Travis get down on one knee.
There you go. Now you're talking.
All the people talk about how the fix was in and all that.
Whole time.
Yeah,
I enjoy that part.
As he's getting the MVP trophy, Taylor Swift right there, drop to the knee, pop the question. The internet would break. The internet would just break.
I couldn't handle that. I'd give me Dre Greenlaw picking off Mahomes at the end of the game and him winning the MVP. I don't want to see that happen. And
why does that bother you? Why does the Taylor Swift thing bother you? I've never understood why people are so upset about this.
So 330 some odd million has apparently been added to NFL revenue because of her. That's great. There's young daughters. There's women all across the country that are watching with their husbands now, their fathers now, and others. That's great. I love that aspect. And I think that's awesome for America when you have young ladies that traditionally don't have that father-daughter time, and now they enjoy it on Sundays or whatever the case may be. That being said,
he doesn't
that
care one
you don't care about that.
Being
Give me
said,
a break.
that being said, it is annoying how I can't flip on the channel of any sort. I can't flip on any social media app or really any group message whatsoever without this coming up in some capacity in relation to this game or any really Chiefs game.
But why
this
does that
season.
irritate you?
When something you don't care about is shoved down. I like her music. I'm not a Swiftie. I don't go to her concert.
You mean to tell me that because they show a quick camera shot of her in the skybox, it ruins the experience for you? Are you kidding me?
It's the excessive
Toughen up,
talking
Buttercup.
about this. I'm not freaking out like
you need
some.
to get a girlfriend. You need a girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's what you need. You need a steady girlfriend. You need a main squeeze. That's what you need.
BG and Rogers texting on the McCarty Daniel hotline. He hopes her flight gets delayed from Tokyo, and she doesn't even make it to Vegas.
The kind of plane she's
get
on
over
doesn't
it.
get
I mean,
delayed.
who cares? I mean, why are people getting so bent out of shape over this? I just don't get it. Do you not? I mean, does it really ruin the whole thing for you? I just don't understand that.
This is supposed to be like football related stuff. And I know it's the show.
Well, pretty
this
girls in
different.
football have gone hand in hand since they started playing
You're
the
right.
game.
And I think Cowherd had a great rant the other day, and he went hand in hand that like all these middle-aged men who are divorced or don't have wives or don't have women that look as good as her are angry because they see Travis having all this success. I think there's some truth to that as well. I'm not jealous of Travis Kelce per se, but I just don't want it shoved down my throat in every single capacity.
I'm just glad pretty girls aren't just for quarterbacks, man. You got an old tight end there.
That's
you
a
got
good
the
point.
biggest star in America. It's not, they're not just for quarterbacks.
Not like Musburger said back in the day to Kirk and to A.J. McCarron that you quarterbacks get all the pretty women at this point. I was listening to him in Vegas. It's pretty crazy, though, like in Vegas right now. And I don't know if T. Swift's going to make it back to
She
Vegas.
is. Of course she is.
I don't know,
Well,
man.
I hope
Tokyo.
she catches her connection in Seattle. Come
Tokyo.
on.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. As long as she makes that connection, she'll be.
that connector in Seattle is going to be a little tight. Yeah, sure.
Travis's mom, Donna, didn't know if they were going to be sitting together, like in the box or whatever. She doesn't know her seating arrangements because apparently, listen to this.
Well, you know a lot about it for someone who's not interested.
Listen,
you got a lot of facts for an irritated man.
It's a part of the conversation. It happened to be shoved down my throat yesterday. I can't avoid my brain sucking up information. A group text, a male group text of all things, which is more frustrating. But guys, a suite in Allegiant Stadium cost $2.5 million. Wow. $2.5 million. Now, you get some stuff with it. You get your own bartenders. You get surf and turf buffet with Wagyu beef, lobster, carne asada fries, bacon wrap, hot dogs, cheesecakes, and to get a full-service bar. Now, just to get in.
I didn't hear any dessert in there.
Yeah, there's souvenir popcorn. Cheesecakes, Tommy. Cheesecakes.
Cheesecake.
There's
All
cheesecakes
right.
there.
I'm in.
Just for a mere 2.5. And I think it comes with 20 seats, so 2.5 divided by 20. One of y'all can do that math in the fly. But average ticket for this game is like nearly $9,000. I think it's gone down a little bit, but you could do so much more with $2.5 billion. If someone told me right now, it's like you got $2.5 billion to get this suite and invite 19 of your buddies and go to the Super Bowl, or you can invest it or go on it, buy an RV and go across the world. I mean, do that. $2.5 billion or $1 million.
It's not individuals that buy it.
It's not one person
It's companies
stroking the check. It's not one person.
Right.
Well, apparently Christian McCaffrey's either fiance, girlfriend, or wife bought it for his family. That was their Valentine's Day present or whatever.
I don't think every box is $2.5 million. I think the one you're describing,
the luxury suite, apparently is $2.5 million.
Yeah, the one you're talking about, like the presidential suite.
The big
I'm
dog
sure it's
suite.
very, very
Where
nice,
you
but
would-
I don't think every suite's $2.5 bill.
I think if Jerry is going to the game, that would be the place that Jerry Jones is sitting at this point. But a pretty good buffet, Tom. I mean, again,
That'd be the only way he'd be at a Super Bowl.
Yeah, the bacon wrapped hot dogs, Wagyu beef, lobster, and whatnot. That is that's not bad, not bad at all. I would
be at Wagyu.
I'm give me some sausage balls, some buffalo wings, and some pizza, and that's pretty much all I need for the Super Bowl each and every year.
Okay. So is the Super Bowl the second best food day of the year? Thanksgiving's clearly the champ.
It depends. I've been to Super Bowl parties before where, it's bar food. It's basically bar food. And anyone that has eaten bar food knows there's good bar food and there's bad bar food.
Agreed.
Sometimes they look just the same. But I've been to some where it's bad bar food. So I would say no. It's not the second best food day of the year.
Am I right that Thanksgiving's the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? As
You
Michael
can certainly
Buffer would say?
make that argument. You can make that argument,
All right.
yes.
I think Thanksgiving, without doubt's the best food holiday of the year. So, well, I know a lot of people will be watching from home, and hey, you got to have a great home. Maybe with a theater, maybe that man cave, Chuck. Maybe that's what you're looking for in your next home to enjoy the next Super Bowl with all your buddies in your man cave.
Well, I do know that Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, if you're a buyer or a seller, that's the name you need to remember. It's the name I went with multiple times as a buyer and a seller. And I can tell you that getting from contract to close was a much easier process than I thought it would be. Now, it probably wasn't easy for them, but it was easy for me. And I guess the bottom line is that that's what you're looking for when you're the buyer or the seller is service. And that's what you're always going to get with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Really, I think that's what separates them. Now, they're the best trained in the business. Nobody's got a better training program than Weicker does. But, once you're out there in the field, so to speak, and you've got people that you're working with, that line of communication, that personal touch, that service, that's what makes it work. And that's the difference with them. Now, again, that was my experience, and I think it'll be your experience as well. They're in northwest Arkansas. They're in the River Valley. They're in Branson now. They service north central Arkansas, south central Missouri out of that office, and you can always log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
So it was a pretty light National Signing Day. Arkansas did get a commitment from 2025 four-star top player in the state, Carius Kern, out of West Memphis, which is good. But in terms of everything else that happened in college football, pretty light. For Nick Saban, he's not in Tuscaloosa. He is at the Waste Management Open. Now, little different circumstance than what the pressure he usually has to deal with on National Signing Day. In his eyes, in his mind, it was a little tougher what he was having to do in front of all those people.
It's one thing to play in front of 100,000 people when you know what you're doing. It's a whole other thing to play in front of a bunch of people when you don't know what you're doing. So it's fun, though. It's fun. This is a great event. To have this much interest, in golf, I think is great. So it's fantastic just to be here.
I wonder what his appearance fee is. He ain't there for free, boys.
Oh, no.
I just wonder what his fee is for that.
I didn't think about that. So you don't think he...
Well, you think he just went out there on his own?
I just figured it was what.
Oh,
hey,
no way.
Nick, do you want to come play in this event? And
Absolutely not.
I'm going to say.
I'm going to say at least.
I'm going to say $250,000.
I'm going to say at least 100,000.
Okay.
At least 100,000. Maybe
I'll split the
maybe
difference
more.
and say 175.
Well, maybe. I mean, we'll probably never know.
My
but
guess
no,
is
he didn't just go out there because he thought it'd be a good time.
he didn't go to throw beers on the 17th?
16th.
16th?
Yeah. I got invited to that next year, but it's the day
You
after
get an
the Super
appearance
Bowl.
fee? You going to get an appearance fee
No,
like
I mean,
Nick Saban?
Are you going to leave at halftime?
Well, you take off
Gonna
on
walk
that.
off after 9 holes?
No, you take off on that Monday, so I was like, I don't think we can have both of us off. So I was like, I don't think I can make it, but I would like to go to that.
Like
event.
next week?
Yeah, this is this.
You were going to go this year?
No, not this year. Next year. This was asked of me a month ago.
I'm not taking off next year. I'm taking off this week.
I just assumed it was one of those things that.
You guys go. I can handle it.
All right. Well, say less.
See ya.
See ya. I'll go next year. Then I'll text Brock and then right now
I've got a golf buddy who's got his company's got a suite on the 16th. He's got one of the boxes or whatever.
Why have you not taken advantage of that?
Hadn't been invited.
Oh, dang. Well, you gotta get yourself in that friend group. So that's this weekend. You got the Super Bowl this weekend, Mardi Gras this weekend.
My uncle's at Scottsdale. He sent me pictures from Sedona yesterday. It's snowing. He's in Scottsdale. It's his birthday earlier this week. He's in Scottsdale right now, so he could run over there for you.
That must be nice. Well, again, based on what Nick Saban was wearing, the attire didn't look like it was that cold down there at the Waste Management Open. But the bigger
They're in Phoenix.
Yeah. The bigger news, again, is him hired at ESPN, College Game Day, SEC Media Days. He's going to do some NFL draft coverage appearance. I mean, I went back this morning and listened to him. I mean, I've listened to him Media Days. I've listened to him live before. But, guys, I really like him on air. And I think there are some coaches and players that when they just suck. They're not good. Like, I have Tom Brady, for example, I have no idea if he's going to be any good for Fox. And it sounds like he's still gung-ho about doing it this upcoming season. But Saban's going to fit in like a glove with that crew because he already has. And it's going to be a lot of fun watching him this college football season, I think.
Well, it's going to be a crowded set. That's for sure.
Yep.
It's going to be a crowded set. To me, the one that makes that show go is Kirk Herbstreit. But Saban, we'll see what role he plays. And I would imagine that, in terms of being the coach presence on the air, he's going to replace Corso. But here's the thing about this, guys. Over the long haul, you got to have personality. You can't just get on there and talk about the process and move your hands and all that stuff the way he does. He's going to have to develop an on-air personality. And he does not have he's trying to develop one, you can tell. Things like this waste management, he's trying to develop that type personality because he knows that that's key to the ladder to his next career. And I'm sure that he'll have the best producers in the business working with him to try to develop that talent. We'll see. I mean, he's going to get a lot of money. We'll see if he buys in. We'll see how. When they hired Bobby Knight, for example, and I hate to speak ill of the dead, but Bobby Knight never bought in, and he was terrible. And we'll see if Saban buys in. If he buys in, he'll be good. If he doesn't, he won't be.
I think that his dry humor is hilarious. I think he does have a personality. I think when you listen to him, he just hasn't been able to showcase it as much. And I think that this opportunity will give him, again, more of an advantage. I always thought he was really funny. Now, he's adapted more to the humorous side of things as he's gotten older because he's not as intense as he was when he first started. But
Game Day's a rah-rah show. Game Day's a rah-rah show. I don't know how much the sound bites and the dry wit, I don't know how much it's going to play. I don't know. He may be great. When you're a great coach, and I've experienced this working with a lot of them over the years, you really don't have to be that funny.
That's a good point.
People will laugh at anything you say.
Kind of like you at the Super Bowl party. They all just line up to laugh at your jokes.
I wish, man. I don't have a funny
Some of these guys tell the worst jokes in the world, and people laugh at them like it's the funniest thing they've ever heard. Now, if they're 2-8, or they're 2-10 the year before, they can tell the funniest joke in the world. Nobody's going to say anything.
Hey, you could win the ultimate Valentine's Day getaway. Head to hitthatline.com and register to win a getaway to the Arlington Hotel in historic downtown Hot Springs. We got a $150 gift card to both Richard's Country Meat Market and Cupid's Lingerie that you could win as well. It's simple. Just go to hitthatline.com, click on the Valentine's Getaway button, and enter your name. and you can be registered to win. It's brought to you by Richards Country Meat Market in Fayetteville and Cupid's Lingerie of Northwest Arkansas. No purchase necessary. Register now through February 14th at hitthatline.com.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV. Now through the end of February, we're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer. Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
This is the Morning Rush.
3rd District Arkansans have a proven leader in Washington, United States Representative Steve Womack. As mayor, Representative Womack led an impressive transformation of the city of Rogers with more than $1 billion in local development. In the military, Colonel Womack commanded troops at every level, including leading his battalion on a successful deployment to the Middle East following 9/11. In Congress, Representative Womack led the House Budget Committee in 2018, co-chaired the Joint Select Committee on Budget Process Reform, and currently serves as a senior appropriator. Throughout Arkansas's 3rd District, you can see his work on vital infrastructure like I-49 and XNA, national security issues like the F-35 mission in Fort Smith, and dozens of projects benefiting Arkansas communities. On March 5th, re-elect a proven leader, Representative Steve Womack.
Paid for by Womack for Congress.
Sunday, February 11th. There's only one event on everyone's mind, the store-wide 30% off sale at Diamond Center. From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., everything in the store is 30% off. That leaves you plenty of time to do your shopping before the big game. Plus, test your throwing arm in the football toss for a chance to win up to an additional 10% off your purchase. Diamond Center, Sunday, February 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 30% off store-wide. Don't fumble this opportunity. Diamond Center, 151 West Dixon in Fayetteville and 4700 Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
Hey, Wes.
Billy, hay is for horses.
I have an idea to bring in more customers.
What you got?
We yell on the radio, "Woo! Pig suey!"
We're going to call the hogs?
Yeah, we call them all in. Woo! Pig suey! Come get your pizza at Jim's Razorback Pizza.
I'd rather not.
Don't you love the hogs?
Of course. But we can't call our customers hogs.
But they're hog fans, and our name is Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Billy, I love your enthusiasm. Look it, if you think we should do it, then let's do it.
Woo! Pig suey!
What about moo instead of woo? We use Wisconsin cheese.
Really? You and them dang cows. Woo! Pig suey!
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine across the north, a few showers and clouds across the south. Our high temperatures today in the mid-60s. We should see a decrease in the cloud cover later on tonight, an overnight low, upper 40s north, mid-50s south. And we'll see a few peaks of sunshine through the clouds Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
We've talked a lot about the number of times you've been here. What about the first time you were coaching an international championship game? What was that like?
Well, you know, the first time I really tried to get the players to stay focused on what they needed to do to play. The first meeting we had about first practice, don't worry about the outcome. Focus on what you have to do to dominate your box, to dominate the guy you have to play against, and assume that's going to be the best player you ever played against. So I say all that, I sell all of that, I get to the day of the game, and I tell my son, I am so nervous about this game. I'm anxious.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
So Nick Saban is moving to television. Thought this was going to happen. It has been finalized as of yesterday, at least formally announced yesterday, and now we'll get to see him on College Game Day this season. At some point in this hour, we will talk more about that. But I want to talk some college basketball coming up, as this year has given us the most top 10 AP losses in the history of the sport at this juncture in the season. I think we're headed for a great NCAA tournament. Still got a month out or so till that happens, but I want to discuss that coming up in just a bit.
Hey, we're brought to you by Oaklawn. The brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas now has the best sports betting app you can find, and it's perfect for the weekend coming up with a big game. All the prop bets are there, all the standard stuff you'd expect with the Super Bowl. But, guys, we all know with the Super Bowl comes all the crazy stuff that people like to bet this one time a year or at least talk about. It's all there with the Oaklawn Sports app. Plus, they've created new funding options that make it easier than ever to bet your favorite games on the Oaklawn Sports app with no fees involved. New funding options include MasterCard and Visa debit, credit cards, PayPal, ACH, and if you're on site there at Oaklawn, you can just put good, old, hard-earned cash right into your account or withdraw it as well. Sign up today and receive first bet insurance up to $250. There's also an exciting new offer on the way for current and future customers or sign-ups as well with Oaklawn Sports. Oaklawn Sports, bet with the brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
It's a Too Stupid Thursday, and over the years I've heard Charles Barkley say some really stupid things. I think he's the best sports commentator out there. I think he's hilarious, but there's times that I'm just scratching my head and just saying, how do you think that is remotely possible? But he said something last night that I thoroughly agree with. He was on the ESPN broadcast with Auburn and Alabama and said there's no great teams in college basketball this year. I went back and did a little research, and you think about all the number one seeds or number one teams that have lost this year. It's plenty. There's only been 4 times in NCAA history that no number one teams have made the NCAA Final Four. In 1980, 2006, 2011, 2023. Guys, I think we're headed for that again. I think that this year it's going to be somewhat of a saving grace because the Arkansas basketball team's not going to the tournament, probably not going to the NIT. So you're like, what? Am I still going to watch March Madness? You're going to want to watch March Madness this year because of the upsets that are headed our way in a month, I think.
But then your bracket's busted. You wad it up, throw it away, and, hey, what's our tea time? You know, that's what a lot of people end up doing.
We saw this last year. I mean, San Diego State and Florida Atlantic made the Final Four. Wouldn't surprise me at all if we have a scenario like that again. There are a lot of good basketball players out there. There really are. And there are lots of good collections of really good basketball players. But I don't know that there is a great team out there. Barkley may be exactly right about that. I do think there are some teams out there, though, that are a little bit better than the others. And I think that you can look at coaching pedigree. And, I think you need to look at who the guy, standing up over there by the bench is. Those guys seem to, when the postseason rolls around, those guys seem to win a lot of games. So if I had to pick one team, I'd probably still pick Kansas. But you're right. There may not be one out there that stands head and shoulders above.
Kansas got a really good starting 5. Their bench has lacked production this season. But I just like the fact that, again, you mentioned last year, Florida Atlantic and San Diego State, not traditional powers. Neither is Miami. UConn is. But you have that. Some people didn't like it. I loved it. Thought it was great. And there's never been back-to-back years of this happening. I think it's going to happen again this year. You have a lot of SEC teams that I think have chances to make the Final Four. I wouldn't say it's the best conference in college basketball. That still belongs to the Big 12. But there are a lot of teams this year in this league that have a chance to go on deep tournament runs that I didn't necessarily expect in the offseason.
I think there are some. I think the SEC's really balanced. Once you get past 2 or 3 teams, I think there's a lot of teams that are just about the same. When I look at the conference right now, I mean, somebody needs to really, and I think Tennessee's the type team that could do it, although history doesn't really, indicate that they will. I don't know that there's a team right now that I look at and say that team's going to the Final Four. There have been times when I've looked at Kentucky and Tennessee and even Alabama, Auburn, and maybe a day or two South Carolina. Thought, with things breaking right, they could get to the Final Four. But I don't know that our league's got a team that you look at and say they're a lock. I mean, that team's going to the Final Four. But by the same token, I don't know that you can say that about other conferences either.
Yeah,
so it is going to be wide open.
Robert in Conway disagrees. He texted on the McClarty-Daniel hotline saying that he feels like Purdue and UConn have distanced themselves at this point. I've seen
Maybe
them,
so.
I've seen them lose games. Purdue's the same team that makes it to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 every year and loses. They lost last year to a 16 seed. UConn, I'll give you credit. Dan Hurley is a really good coach. We saw it firsthand in Vegas last year. But I'm not sold on Purdue and Matt Painter. I mean, they came to Bud Walton and lost in the exhibition game. I mean, I know that was a long time ago, but they had that same team basically from last year and came in the first game of the season basically for exhibition and lost.
Well, but Ty, as we've seen, that exhibition game, I mean, look at Arkansas, look at Purdue.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. I mean, that shows you. I know Arkansas was jacked up for that game.
So therefore, you can't say Purdue's bad because they lost in an exhibition game.
I just think athletically they're overmatched when they play great teams each year, and it bears itself out.
Well, you may be right about that. But it's not because they came in here and lost that exhibition game. Now, UConn's good. It's hard to repeat, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is hard to repeat. And but they may be able to do it. I don't know.
Is Florida still the last one to do it?
That sounds
Just,
right.
You mentioned
06, 07.
And maybe the last team that has repeated as champion.
Yeah, that's
it's just hard enough to repeat Final Four appearances. That's hard enough.
Can
in
you
and of
imagine
itself.
being a Florida Gator fan that year? Your football team wins the national championship. Then the basketball team wins. Then Tim Tebow wins the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, they had it going on there for a little while.
Couldn't tell me nothing.
Yeah, and then you won another national championship in basketball. That I don't know if there's a better.
Did they go to the College World Series too? I can't remember.
I don't know if.
Well, here's the thing, and we learned this back in the 90s, and Florida learned it, about 10, 15 years later. It doesn't last forever. Nothing lasts forever. You better enjoy it while it's happening, and you better not take it for granted. And there are very few programs out there that do this forever. And so when it happens, it's special.
Hey, if you're looking for some good stuff to munch on during the big game Sunday, check out Sassy's Barbecue and Grill and Sassy's Original Red House. 2 locations in Fayetteville, North College, the Original Red House, and then also off the Weddington exit on Steamboat Drive. If you need to order like a big platter of stuff, award-winning wings, brisket, ribs, pulled pork, all of it, you can get online at sassysbarbecue.com, get one of the Razor Packs. Don't forget they have happy hour every day from 3 to 6. Televisions everywhere, so if you're looking for a place to go out and watch the game, Sassy's would be a great choice. Hey, when it comes to barbecue, catfish, burgers, and more, nobody does it better than Sassy's. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
All right, we'll get to your Morning Rush Daily Question next.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Austin Allen, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV. Now through the end of February, we're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Say goodbye! The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
So how are you watching the Super Bowl this weekend? With friends, family, by yourself? At a sports bar? I agree with this guy, Mr. Mad Dog Russo, one of the legends in this industry, that he just wants some peace and quiet, man.
I like to watch the games alone. I don't want to watch the game in a party atmosphere. I want to have fun with the game. I want to enjoy it. It's the last football game for 7 months. So you want to go out there and soak it all in. You want to hear the broadcasters. You want to get revved up for kickoff. I don't watch a ton of the pregame show, if anything at all. I'll probably put it on at 5:30, 5:40. I'm not one of those guys who wants to sit around and drink 7 beers with the next door neighbor. I could care less. The game is too serious to me.
I agree.
Let me watch the game in peace. I don't want to, I watch the game with my kids.
I'm halfway there, Mad Dog. I will watch the first half with friends. I will not partake in any alcoholic beverage on Sunday whatsoever. I will eat food, and then I will go home at half and watch the game in peace, because he said something important there. No football for 7 months. Not that AFA or whatever the crap we get a little bit in the spring. I don't care about that. We don't get real football, college or NFL, for 7 months. So I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to embrace it in the comfort of my home with my dog Maggie. And I can't wait for that second half. And if it's a bad game, I'll be hacked off and ticked off, because that's a bad taste in the season.
7 months.
7 months.
Has this ever happened before?
It happens every year.
You got spring football. You got the Rocks deal, man. You got the XFL and USFL merging.
If our basketball team actually was doing something right now, I could take some solace in that. And I love March Madness as much as anyone. But the basketball team's not doing anything. I'll have March Madness, and I don't have the same feeling in my loins about baseball. Never have. Never played it. So I am just waiting for 7 months till we get back to football season.
That's why football's special.
Spring football doesn't do it. Fall camp doesn't do it. It's that August 31st game when they play against UAPB in Little Rock. Then I'll be back. That's the real game.
Is that what fires your loins up?
That's the real
UAPB. Let's go to Little Rock and watch them play UAPB.
Yeah,
that'll be better than the Super Bowl.
The proper way
they get them loins going.
Yeah, it does. The proper way again to watch the Super Bowl is to do half and half. It's watch half with your friends, half with your family, and then watch the rest in peace, solitude, and in the comfort of your own home.
See, my half and half's a little different. It's half vodka, half cranberry, in about a 20-ounce cup. That's half and half.
See, again, Chuck said something about the 94 championship on these airwaves a couple months back, that he didn't drink at all. Chuck, I would have been is it shirts or sheets to the win? I always forget. Whatever the one.
Well, for you, Ty, it's shirts.
Okay,
but for normal people, it's sheets.
Okay. Whatever. Tyism. I would have been gone if I watched it. When this baseball team wins the national championship and I'm in Omaha, I will wake up extremely hungover that Tuesday morning after we do the show. That's, again,
so you don't think they're going to take the first two?
I mean, that's you. You're a party guy.
Yeah, but in that,
clearly,
in
he's
this,
leaving at halftime.
In this essence, in this beautiful thing, and again, I'm not drinking on Sunday. I want to enjoy this sober as a gopher. I want to, again, everything involved with the ending of football until late August that I have to wait on.
You're taking this way too seriously.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Again, Ty, you need a girlfriend.
No.
Yeah.
Football is my girlfriend for now at this point in time. But this.
Well, you're going to do without
again,
for 7 months then.
Like a real woman, it will break your heart.
So that's how I watch it. That's how I'm going to partake in it, and I do that every year. How are you guys going to?
Far less seriously than you.
It's a tradition, man.
Well, I'm going to tell you, my wife has never been this amped up or this excited for a Super Bowl ever. It's the Taylor Swift effect. And I'm looking forward to watching the game with her because she's actually going to sit down and watch the game for something other than the commercials.
And that is the good side of the Taylor Swift effect.
And I like it. You know,
that is the
Ty,
good side.
I hate to break this to you, but unless you're going to a party with all guys, which I guess is a possibility with you, but if there are going to be women there, Taylor Swift's going to get talked about a lot. I mean, I just hate to break that to you, but it's going to happen.
Here's the great thing about this party I'm going to.
All boys?
Nope. Female. Listen, I love my friends' wives, fiancés, and girlfriends. Love them. Have nothing but good things to say about each and every one of them. But they're going to be upstairs, and we're going to be downstairs. We're splicing it, splitting it up, or whatever. So the Taylor Swift conversation will be had in that household, but I don't have to hear it because I'll be downstairs with the
well, it sounds like you've got it all figured out.
Yes.
Sounds really exciting.
It's going to be a
Sounds
blast.
like you've got a big day planned.
What about you, Chuck? What is your
Well, nothing like that. I mean, believe me, I applaud the recluse part because I'm almost there, but
maybe we could live vicariously through Ty, Chuck. Maybe
I think that's what
we'll
I'm going to have to do, Ty. I'm just going to have to live vicariously through you.
I understand. I get it where you guys are coming from.
I'm past my prime when it comes to Super Bowl parties.
Again, halfway. I'm halfway.
I got a lot of Mad Dog Russo in me. I mean, why would I want to drink 7 beers with people I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me.
The only time that beers are needed is like weddings. You don't know anyone, and you just need to feel a little looser to talk to people and whatnot when it comes to that.
A little liquid courage.
Yes, for this, it's just like
you're a wedding crasher by trade.
Yeah, that is true at this point. But I am adamant about this philosophy. I will probably do it till they put me in the ground, or one of you put me in the ground as palm bearers. Is that what it's called?
You're way too young to be like as cynical and as being the recluse that you are.
Enjoy the day.
Enjoy you're 29,
food,
man. You're 29 years old. Go have a good time.
There will come a day where your wife won't let you.
And I got news for you.
There will come a day where your kids are going to be sick and you can't go at all. There will come a day. I got news
for you, man. 29 years old, separating boys from girls, that's not the way to go.
No.
That's
probably.
If you're separating the boys from the girls at 29, you'll be doing it at 39.
Yeah.
You'll be doing it at 49.
Yeah.
Girls and boys at 29, you're supposed to mingle, man.
Hey, I got a question, though. Of this group, and y'all are segregating to the basement and to the upstairs, how many of your buddies that you're going to be sitting in the basement watching football with are already married?
Like half.
I figured it's more than that. I figured you'd be like one of two or something.
I think there's
going stag.
There's several married, several
because
engaged,
they're looking to get away from their wives. I understand that.
You have to understand too, Ty. Everyone can say, "Oh, I'm sending my wife upstairs."
Yeah.
But now, the actual execution of that plan is sometimes a little bit different than
your execution,
your planning stage.
Yeah.
Say a lot of things to your buddy. You say a lot of things to your buddy.
I have noticed, and
talk a big game.
Now I will say this: I'm never going to do this. When I'm around my friends, it will be all truth. What I say to them is what I'll say to my wife. But they do puff their chests out.
Spoken like a single man.
My God.
They do puff their chests out a little bit more when it's just the guys. And what they consistently say in regards to this is, "Ty, you'll learn someday."
Yeah,
and I'm like, no,
right.
I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm not going to be in that situation. I consistently.
You're going to run your house household, aren't you?
Exactly.
You're going to run your house.
Thank you. You understand. He understands, Tommy.
Yeah, well, we do understand. You're right.
Yeah.
We understand that you don't understand. Somewhere Baylor Brad is shaking his
You're
head.
talking about a girlfriend. You're not talking about a wife.
Girlfriend, fiance, wife, they're all lumped together.
No. They are very, very, very different. Extremely different.
Whoa.
I was told by
You
several,
are a rookie's rookie right now.
I was told by several people. It's like they get they go from being like a private to a lieutenant, and then when you get married, it's like the supreme general or admiral.
Five star general.
They're the colonel.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in charge.
It goes up to that point. Again, that is the cynical way that I'm
You
answering.
let us know how that goes.
They're going to be
you
the
report back in about 20 years how this running my household thing's going for you.
Okay. Probably not well.
I think you're going to come more back like Private First Class Gomer Pyle and be, golly. I had no idea what you guys were talking about.
Yeah, that's typically when it comes to this part of the conversation. All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. How are you watching the Super Bowl this weekend?
Brought to you by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by V's Barbershop with 2 locations in Rogers and Bentonville. Visit V's Barbershop online at vbarbershop.com or in person and see why V's is a cut above the rest.
All right, let's welcome in our friend Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat Gazette and Whole Hog Sports. Tom, how are you partaking in the Super Bowl this weekend?
Guys, y'all have wandered off into radio gold territory where everyone is interested in listening about the Battle of the Sexes.
Mm-hmm. How are you watching the Super Bowl? What's your big Sunday plans?
I have not made any plans. I hope my children are involved, and I will probably just be at my pad, man.
Yeah.
I'm not big into huge gatherings with a bunch of guys and everybody's talking. I watched the Falcons Super Bowl alone. My wife and my youngest daughter were in the first half with me, and everything was great. And then they went off in the second half and did something in one of the craft rooms, and I suffered through the second half by myself, and it was devastating. I wanted to call him back in there.
Now, Tom said something very important. He doesn't know what his plans are yet. Did you hear him say that at the very beginning?
I did hear
him say that. That's because he's like the rest of us, Mary. His wife hadn't told him yet what he's doing. And that's what you have yet to learn. And Tom, at some point, will, Mrs. Murphy will tell him what he's doing on Sunday, what they're going to eat, where they're going to watch the game, all of that stuff.
The plans will come together. But
yeah.
If the Lions had made it, I would have been really torn because I have become a Chiefs fan, living in the area, and just like admiring. Niall Davis was with them. I like Andy Reid. I'm a huge Pat Mahomes fan. I kind of like the Travis Kelce dynamic and all the speed guys they've had. I just like them. And so it will be relatively easy for me to pull for the Chiefs in this Super Bowl, although I do like McCaffrey. And, Kyle Shanahan, he should have won a Super Bowl with us in 2016 if he had just kept the ball on the ground after that great Julio Jones catch, and I'm going to relive this for the rest of my life.
Speaking of the Falcons, Tom, I did see a report, as we're talking to you here on the McCarty Daniel Hotline, that Belichick turned down the job because they didn't give him complete control. Do you think there's any truth to that? And was that smart on his part? Because it doesn't look like he's going to be coaching for an NFL team this year.
I hope that was the reason. I mean, I don't know if the report is true or not, but I'm glad he didn't get full control because what has he done with large control over the Patriots the last 3 or 4 years? It hasn't been pretty. I didn't want it just because a guy's trying to get, the most wins in NFL history. I don't want it to be with us going, 7-10 for a couple of years in a row. I don't want that. So I'm glad we got Raheem Morris, and we'll live with that.
Speaking of the NFL, again, you mentioned Dre Greenlaw. I heard Travis Kelce say nothing but good things about him. Brock Purdy also mentioned when they were down in the dumps in a 0-3 hole at one point, and they lost 3 straight games, that Dre was one of those guys. You think the chances of him winning the MVP this weekend, the way he played in that divisional game, and really the way he's played all year?
Well, if he gets 2 picks again, he'll have a great chance for it, and and they hold the Chiefs down a little bit. But I'm just so proud of Greenlaw. His whole backstory, and he's a feisty guy. I mean, I was listening on the radio to the Eagles broadcast when he got into it with the guy Dom on the sideline, and the Eagles announcers were like, "Oh, he doesn't want to tangle with Big Dom." But I don't know. I just I hope Dre has a really good game. I know he had a stinger in the last game and he came back from it, so hope he plays well. And it's cool that two Fayetteville High kids, him and Brandon Allen, are both in the Super Bowl.
Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. It's been almost a month since Arkansas played Georgia down in Athens. This time the Bulldogs come to Fayetteville. The Bulldogs won by 10 last time. Had Justin Hill come off the bench, scored 19 to lead the way. Tremont Mark had 24 in that game. Tom, what's got to be different this Saturday for the Hogs to get a win over the Georgia Bulldogs?
They got to be tougher, to defend better. They have to rebound better. Hopefully, be connected on offense more than they were in that game. I mean, that was so early on that we weren't sure what kind of rhythms the Razorbacks would fall into, and it hasn't been good. Georgia's struggling right now. I'm not sure the finals from the Mississippi State game, but it looked like they were going down hard. So I don't know. It's a Georgia team that's struggling with confidence probably a little bit right now. I think they've lost. It might be 4 in a row. So time for the Razorbacks to get back on the good foot.
Yeah, one of the games that Arkansas kind of held their own on the glass. Rebounding margin was +1 just for Georgia. Offensive rebounds, Georgia just had 9. So from a matchup standpoint, sounds like if Arkansas can play with a little more effort towards the glass, this is an area you can hold your own this time.
I think so. And Abdul Rahim, I don't think he had a great game either. But Georgia's their athleticism is impressive, but they've had a trend that I've been keeping track of a little. They've had some nice leads. They came from well back to get a big lead on Tennessee and then blew it. They had a 16-point lead at home against Bama. I think that was last week, and did not hold on to that one. So they're a team that, if you can get some momentum going, may question their confidence. So I think it's a team that Arkansas is ripe to get back in the win column, and especially when you've had a whole week, recuperate, catch your breath, find areas of weakness, and hone in on. And you got Devo Davis back in the lineup too. It'll be interesting to see what dynamic that creates on Saturday.
So Auburn beats Alabama last night in the jungle, Tom. Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, and South Carolina basically all neck and neck. Tennessee's got one less win because they played one less game. Who's the best SEC team of those four?
Well, I had Alabama at number 1 in my power poll this week, and I'm not sure if that's the case. I don't think there's a ton of separation between those. I mean, Tennessee started the season with more of the hype, and I think they have a higher upside. But their NCAA tournament track record is not good. I mean, they've been a team that's bowed out to as a 2 seed and a 3 seed early in tournaments a lot. So that's hanging over them. Not that has anything to do with the rest of this regular season, but there's so many things to like about Auburn's depth, Auburn's combination of physical interior and good outside shooting. I like what Connect has brought to Tennessee, and I'm a huge I don't know. I would say I'm impressed by what Lamont Paris has done. I talked to him post game here. I've watched as much of their games as I can since, and they're fun to watch. I like the combination they have of good guard play, and they're physical on the inside as well. That Murray Boyles, who I'm not sure he did much in the game here, but he's come on, the freshman. So they have a nice roster composition. I don't know if they have the ability to pull this out at the end. I think Tennessee might be the most likely to edge everybody out when it's said and done.
They got a lot of talent. Dalton Connect, probably player of the year in this league. He has been fantastic. All right, Tom, last thing. Nick Saban announced joining ESPN. We're talking a little SEC basketball transition to football. Not really a surprise. Is he going to have another job outside of just TV, in your opinion, moving forward with college football?
I would think Miss Terry, as we've discussed with the Super Bowl party conversation, that Miss Terry has probably told him that might be about enough college football coaching, and that he can enjoy his 70s as an analyst where you don't have to do as much inside the office. I mean, there's some prep involved for sure, but I've enjoyed his commentary when he's shown up in playoff games and what have you in recent years. So no, I'm thinking TV analyst will be a good deal for him to close it out.
Tom, enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll catch up next week, and enjoyed the visit.
Will do. Take care.
All right, Tom Murphy with us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Chuck, how many years would you expect Nick Saban to serve in this role? I mean, he is in his 70s. I can't imagine this isn't going to be some 10 or 15-year run. That just doesn't seem possible.
I wouldn't think so. The truth of the matter is they've you've kind of got a changing of the guard right now on College Game Day. Pat McAfee was brought in, and I don't know, again, there's going to be so many people on that set. Now you're going to bring Saban in. What kind of turnover are you going to have? Are you going to keep all those guys on set at once? Are you going to segment things? I don't know exactly how they're going to do it. I have no idea.
It seems like quite a juxtaposition to have Pat McAfee sitting next to Nick Saban. That just seems like two opposites right there.
Here's
one guy with sleeves, one guy without sleeves.
Here's what's
Saban's been on McAfee's show a good bit, and that's I'm sure been by design.
And Saban likes him, which you would never.
Well, he likes him publicly because they're getting ready to work together and get paid a bunch of money.
Yeah, but if you're going to go on someone, I mean, there's plenty of other shows he could have gone on ESPN radio with all year, and he has his brothers, he has his pick. Right? He could have gone on.
He was getting paid for that, Todd.
Yeah, I
free.
realize that, but if he doesn't
that's part of his. I mean, you can see if you look back on this now how obvious it is that Saban had planned this, because he didn't go on Pat McAfee's show by coincidence. He didn't develop a rapport with Pat McAfee on the air just by happenstance. And, well, as it turns out, worked out pretty well. He's worked with Pat all along. He knew what he was going to do. Now, I know that sounds cynical, but he may or may not like Pat McAfee. What's important is, do they have a good on-air relationship?
Well, and can all of that together keep the Nick Saban brand propped up? Because that'll last a year or two based on what he's done. But as we all know, you get out of the public eye, your brand dissipates, and he needs to have some kind of visibility to keep the Nick Saban brand propped up.
I think that this is one of those things that media people love to talk about because it's our business. I don't think he's going to drive the ratings through the roof. I don't think, the ratings would fall through the floor without him. I do think it's a natural step for him. But there was College Game Day before Nick Saban, and there'll be College Game Day after Nick Saban, too. Hey, just for a second, let me pause to talk to you about V's Barbershop. Weekend's coming up. Want to look sharp, want to be ready, or perhaps that's your everyday deal. You want to look sharp every day. V's Barbershop's the name you need to remember. It's much, much more than just a barbershop, although you certainly will have that nostalgic feel when you walk in. You're going to see the leather chairs. And, when it comes time for a shave, it's going to be hot leather. It's going to be the real deal. You will feel like, to a certain degree, you're back in one of these old-style barbershops, but it also combines all the new things, that the creature comforts that we do like. There is a television there. You can watch the news. You can catch up on ESPN. You can get away for a little while. And again, their services go way beyond just the traditional haircut. You can stop by and see exactly what I'm talking about. They've got 2 locations in Northwest Arkansas. They're in the Pleasant Crossing Shopping Center in Rogers. They're also on Southwest 14th Street in Bentonville. That's right off 71B. If you are in Central Arkansas, 2 locations in West Little Rock, and you can always log on to vbarbershop.com.
Got plenty to get into in your Hog Update coming up, including what Brock Purdy had to say about Drake Greenlaw. Got some unfortunate news about Peyton Stovall, that he's going to be out for a good period of time before SEC play, and what's going on with some Razorback sports the next couple of days as well. I am curious, though, with the question I asked Tom about him doing another role. Guys, I tend to think that this is like, he's got the advisor role with Alabama, which may be just more than the title than anything. This is not an advisor role. This is hands-on. I still think there's one more thing he's probably going to do with college football in some capacity.
What do you think that's going to be?
I think they're going to tie him into the playoff or something. He's going to have some title with the SEC or something. And I don't know 100% yet, but this is not it for him.
All right, let's talk about that more coming up. We're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. The 2024 season's underway. Don't forget to make restaurant reservations. Valentine's Day coming up. A lot of people looking for something different and unique to do. How about a weekend stay, a weekend getaway to Gaston's? 870-431-5202. Then get you a nice, quiet, private cabin, fireplace. You can get your restaurant reservations, have a great few meals overlooking the White River. Everything in the restaurant is wonderful. It all starts with that John Boat salad bar, but the view of the river is legendary. And, just the being on the property, the 2 miles of the White River that stretch from one end of the property to the other is pretty breathtaking. Gastons.com or 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time. Even though you try to be.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when He does, people will try and hide their faces from Him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
Fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
So the biggest story for Razorback fans in the Super Bowl this weekend is Dre Greenlaw and Brandon Allen. Dre Greenlaw's got a lot of coverage, a lot of people saying good things about him this week, including San Francisco quarterback Brock Purdy.
My team had my back, even through those 3 games that we lost in a row. You had guys on defense, Dre Greenlaw, Fred, Eric Armstead, like all those guys continue to come up to me and say, dude, we got your back. This is the NFL. It's not easy. And so it was in those moments that I knew I was all right, these guys got my back and we can go.
First guy that pops out of his mouth, Dre Greenlaw. And Fred Warner said great things. Kyle Shanahan said great things. And listen, I don't know what he's at on the Bet Saracen app. And I know he would have won the MVP of that divisional win over the Packers, picking off Jordan Love twice. But, guys, that's not a bad MVP pick this weekend. It's Dre Greenlaw. And you'd win some money if he ended up winning the whole thing.
Well, if he picks off 2 passes, like he did in the, which was it, the divisional game, I guess, he might very well be the MVP. Who knows? There aren't defensive MVPs a lot, but he might be. Happy for him. Happy for Brandon Allen, and, hopefully it'll be a good day for them.
I was looking at some old Super Bowl games where Razorbacks were featured. The most recent one to have success is Trey Flowers, who, unfortunately, to Tom Murphy's team, sacked Matt Ryan 2.5 times in that Falcons-Patriots game. Dennis Winston had a fumble recovery for the Steelers. Dan Hampton had a sack and a recovery back for the Bears. Raven Caldwell's a few others. There's not a lot of history of Razorbacks over the years, not just being in Super Bowls, but having a big impact. I would think Dre in the last decade or 2 decades probably has a chance to make the biggest impact of any Razorback in the Super Bowl.
Well, now he's not Dan Hampton. You're talking about, Hampton played on one of the best defenses. Look, I'm not knocking Dre Greenlaw, but I'm not going to get into the superlatives and who's the best, 20 years and all that. You've got, you mentioned some really good football players there in your
Hall of Famers.
In your lead up there, and Dre's a really good football player too. But to say he's got the best chance of all those guys,
I'm just talking the last 20
he's
years.
Got a chance. Well, maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah. Dave Van Horn yesterday was on the MLB Network talking all things Arkansas Razorbacks. And not only did he mention this season, mentioned players, but just kind of brought, when he got asked the question about coming over from Nebraska and Lincoln, just kind of what drew him to Fayetteville.
I left the University of Nebraska after 5 years there. My last 2 years at Nebraska, we went to Omaha. And when you're in Lincoln and you make it to the World Series, man, they treat you unbelievably well. And it was hard to leave, but this is where I always wanted to be. Coach, I played here, met my wife here, got married in Fayetteville. I mean, I could go on. And you know, the SECs at the time is what I thought I wanted to do. After I was here a year or two, I thought, man, this is pretty difficult. But it's been fun. Very fortunate to be able to stay at the same place basically my whole career. Once we got settled in, you know, family gets to get settled in, kids get to go to the same school because, you know, you just see so many coaches moving their families around, and that's really difficult to be a part of. And my wife put up with me for all those years. So I felt like, hey, this is a spot, and the fans have been amazing. The teams have been great, and it's a special place here in Fayetteville.
Chuck, what do you remember about that transition in 2003? Because I know you've been calling games since the 90s, but when he comes over, takes over from Norm, they go to the College World Series in year 2. What do you remember about that?
Well, I think that those who were around the program, you know, even in the late 90s, knew that when the time came that Dave was the heir apparent. People in Nebraska knew it too. You know, we played Central Missouri State when he was the head coach there, if I'm not mistaken. He won a national championship there. He was the head coach at Northwestern State down in Natchitoches, and I can remember going down there and playing his teams. Norm always played his teams, and, I mean, you knew he was good, and he went to Nebraska. I'm sure it was very, very difficult for him to leave. I'm sure it was. From an Arkansas perspective, I think the feeling would have been, you know, this is a monumental upset if he didn't come back. I can remember in 2000 we played Nebraska at Baum Stadium, and Dave had a really good team then. They didn't go to Omaha. They lost at Stanford, I think, in the Supers, but it was a really good team. And they came down here for a midweek, and, I mean, they slapped us around for 2 days. And Coach Broyles never went to Razorback baseball games unless Barry Lunny Jr. was pitching. But he went to both those games. Sat up in the hog heaven seats when nobody sat up there, and watched most of the games, both games in their entirety. And I think we all knew then that when Norm retired, what was going to happen. And I was not surprised by it. I knew he'd come in and do well. I also knew that I knew enough about college baseball to know that Nebraska was in a place that they'd never been before. And I know how Nebraska fans are. We played Nebraska in a tournament at Arlington when Dave was there. And, I mean, there were Winnebagos outside this little ballpark at UT Arlington. I mean, it was incredible the way their fans followed their program when Dave was there. And you could tell he lit a fire. But I always thought he'd succeed Norm and was not surprised when he did.
What I'm surprised by is those same Nebraska fans still love him, because the reason I say that is if you look across the board in college sports, when a coach leaves a university, i.e. Cal with Memphis, there's so many different examples, those fans hate him oftentimes in football, basketball, and baseball. Booed when he comes back, whatever, not liked. It's the complete opposite with him. Like when they go to Omaha, I've run into several Nebraska fans in the times I've been in the College World Series, and I ask them, so what do you think? And they say nothing but glowing things. Nothing.
Well, it's the only time they've been good. It's the only time they've been nationally relevant was when he was there. Part of that's a testament to him, certainly. Haymaker Park's the ballpark Dave built. You know, if you know about, Nebraska baseball, there wouldn't have been that ballpark without Dave. And they've just been okay since he left. And, he did something there that nobody done before and nobody's done since.
Yeah.
May not.
Yeah. I don't know if you were doing the game or not, but it seems like Arkansas went up there for a midweek. Dave took his team up there and got no hit, right?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah. And it was a cold day. I remember that. And there weren't many people there that day, even though in the newspaper I remember it was like a hero's welcome. But the weather conditions that day were just so brutal that there wasn't a very big crowd.
All right, that's going to do it for your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Hey, it's Throwback Thursday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. They bring back some of the old Cuco's platters. They'll have one kind of highlighted today, so you can stop in for that. You can get their crispy chips and their house-made salsa that's made fresh every day with fresh veggies. You can taste the freshness in it. Sizzling fajitas are on special on Fridays. And, of course, always their crispy tacos and their great enchiladas with that homemade sauce is the best around. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
All right, still plenty to get into in hour number 3. Super Bowl, more college football, and Nick Saban coming up.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV now through the end of February. We're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
What's better than getting something for free? Winning. Woohoo! And with the $5 bundle from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, you get the chance to do both. For $5, you get 3 tickets, a Powerball ticket with Power Play, a Mega Millions ticket, and a free Natural State Jackpot ticket. That's 3 ways to win. So ask for the $5 bundle today. Bundle is eligible with Quick Picks only. Offer ends February 29th. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Semaglutide and Teraziptide is a weight loss game changer. This is what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas and Missouri, in office or telemedicine visits available. To schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical providers for safe and effective weight loss, call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
Get ready for a new year of work with limited time savings on Bobcat equipment at Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas in Rogers. Get as low as 0% for 72 months on a Bobcat compact tractor, or choose a free front-end loader when you buy with cash. Special offers are also available on Bobcat zero-turn mowers with financing as low as 0% for 48 months, or rebates up to $900 on select models. Call Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas or come by to get these great deals. Hurry, these offers end March 31st. Some exclusions apply.
This is the Morning Rush.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Subiaco in Scranton. If you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco in Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Sunday, February 11th. There's only one event on everyone's mind, the store-wide 30% off sale at Diamond Center. From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., everything in the store is 30% off. That leaves you plenty of time to do your shopping before the big game. Plus, test your throwing arm in the football toss for a chance to win up to an additional 10% off your purchase. Diamond Center, Sunday, February 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 30% off store-wide. Don't fumble this opportunity. Diamond Center, 151 West Dixon in Fayetteville and 4700 Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. might be.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine. On North 11th Street is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. Also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith. 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine across the north, a few showers and clouds across the south. Our high temperatures today in the mid-60s. We should see a decrease in the cloud cover later on tonight, overnight low, upper 40s north, mid-50s south. And we'll see a few peaks of sunshine through the clouds Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
We've talked a lot about the number of times you've been here. What about the first time you were coaching international championship game? What was that like?
Well, you know, the first time I really tried to get the players to stay focused on what they needed to do to play. The first meeting we had about first practice, don't worry about the outcome. Focus on what you have to do to dominate your box, to dominate the guy you have to play against, and assume that's going to be the best player you ever played against. So I say all that, I sell all of that, I get to the day of the game, and I tell my son, I am so nervous about this game. I'm anxious.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
So a luxury suite at Allegiant Stadium costs $2.5 million to take in the Super Bowl this week. And a commercial costs $7 million. There's been some great commercials over the years during the course of the Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't have, what is that, $9.5 million just lying around, or we'll probably ever see in my lifetime. But there are some good investments. Budweiser's made some great commercials over the years. So has Doritos. There's been a few other car insurance commercials here and there. But what was the best one? What are the ones that we're looking forward to, maybe that we've seen already? We'll talk about that coming up. And is Nick Saban, as you heard, he's back on College Game Day, not just for a little stint around the national championship, but full-time this year. Is there another job on the horizon for Saban in college football? Let's talk about that coming up as well.
Hey, we're brought to you by Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, next door to Sodi's. Ty, you've already said you like it a little quieter, a little more peaceful when you go out to do things. Uncorked's the place to go.
That's a date spot, man.
Hey, I'm telling you, it is. It is the spot. Get your reservations at uncorkthefort.com. They got the reservation link right there. You can get your weekend getaways. And with Valentine's coming up, this is going to be a big weekend for it. The following weekend, and of course in the midweek there, not only on the 14th, but the 13th and the 15th will be big days too. So if you're looking for something special, something unique, You'll love the menu that Chef Jazz has put together. They've even got a wine dinner coming up on Monday night, the Cooper Cane Wine Dinner on the 12th. That'd be a great Valentine's getaway. It starts at 6 o'clock. They're normally not there on Monday, so you could do that coming up on a special Monday night. It's reservation only, so that would make a very nice Valentine's getaway. So if you're looking for something special and unique, maybe something you hadn't done in a while or never done before, Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith is the place for Valentine's this year. That's uncorkedthefort.com for reservations, or stop in and see them, 5501 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, for Uncorked next to Sodi's in Fort Smith.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
So we'll push the Saban talk back to the end of this segment. Guys, we're going to have a good array of Super Bowl commercials this year. I've seen a few already that have been put out there pre-Super Bowl, and I think they're pretty good. Now, is it going to be early 2000s, 90s, 80s? Probably not, but I think this year has some potential based on some of the pre-stuff I've seen at this point.
The best ones are the ones that make you laugh or hit you right in the feels, puts that lump in your throat. And, you know, they spare no expense. You talk about what was it,
$7 million
$7
is what it costs for 30 seconds.
I would bet, Chuck, they spend more than that making the commercial. Because
in some cases that's probably true.
Yeah, not every case, but the best ones, they spare no expense to make that one. They may blow the whole year's budget on that one ad. So, Chuck, I mean, they've made it's just genius what they've done over 30, 40 years. They've made the commercials as big as part of the conversation as the game itself a lot of times.
They do, and it's been that way for a while. I would, if I was an ad executive, I would have a very simple formula. Put a cute dog in the commercial. Just put a cute dog, puppy, something like that in there. It works every time. That would be what I would do.
This is America. We love our dogs. To me, though, and this, I don't think a cute kid was involved in it. The best commercial is the Coke one back with me, Joe Green.
Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
Want my Coke?
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay. Thanks.
That's the way it should be. I like to say, see you around. The whole world is smiling with me. Coca-Cola has life. Have a Coke and a... Wow, thanks, Mean Joe.
When
that Coke and a smile.
Yep, that still holds up today. That kid who's turned like 30, 40, 50 years old, met Mean Joe later in life, which is awesome. They did a story back on both of them today.
Yeah. For those that haven't seen that, he drinks the whole Coke and just downs the whole thing. The backstory on that Mean Joe Green's told the story is when they filmed that commercial, he had to do that like 6 times.
Oh,
he had to drink that whole, and that was an old school glass bottle, which needed peanuts in it. You always put peanuts in a glass bottle of Coke, but nonetheless, he had to do like 6 of those when shooting that commercial. So that was the hard part.
I just think that commercial still holds up today. If Coke, I don't know the policies of the Super Bowl. If they're allowed to rerun something, I'd spend $7 million and just pay that.
$7 million, they can do what they want.
Yeah, that's one of those things where like sometimes you're talking about ad executives, Chuck. Sometimes ad executives overthink things. Sometimes people want nostalgia. They want to get in their feels. And all you have to do is pull something from 10, 20, 30 years ago and just replay it. You're not going to have to spend a lot of money. You boost it up in terms of the HD and the quality and everything involved in that. But they sometimes go over the top on these when all you have to do is pull a great ad from 20, 30 years ago, and everyone is like, oh, my gosh, I remember that. That's another way to go about it that a lot of companies should do.
Well, maybe they will. I don't know. They've not called and asked me what my thoughts are.
See, the ad agency's not going to do that because that doesn't create a lot of new billing for them.
They don't get a lot of money out of that.
Yeah, they don't make money. Hey, let's just
bad business.
Dust off this old beta tape here, and we'll just run it. But I think the hardest part is coming up with the idea. That the easy part's writing the check for $7 million.
The
hard part's hitting a home run with the creative.
Start with the puppy. That's the morning rush. That's the Chuck Barrett morning rush idea, which I don't think is a bad one at all.
You think about some of those great Budweiser commercials with the Clydesdales.
Those are the ones I'm thinking about.
Yeah, the Clydesdales pulling the cart of beer, and it's got the Dalmatian sitting up there. I mean, you remember the Dalmatian as much as you remember the Clydesdales.
How many Taylor Swift commercials or anything will there be?
Ooh, good question.
That's a good over-under, Big C. How many Taylor Swift commercials will we see during the entirety of the Super Bowl? 4?
I have no idea.
Is that too high?
It's just going to feed into the conspiracy theorists. It's going to feed them.
See,
fixes in.
Well,
Everyone knows
if Travis Kelce and the Chiefs win the Super Bowl and he wins the MVP, then the script was previewed and presented correctly.
All right, here's the deal. If Travis Kelce, if the Chiefs win, everyone's going to be expecting Travis Kelce to propose. I mean, that would just be the cherry on top. But what if they lose? You know, what if you've planned to propose and then you lose? You can't propose at that point. I mean, it takes away the fairy tale ending. You know, you got to win the game. This is why the fix is in, boys. You got to win the game. Kelsey's got to be the MVP. The confetti's got to be coming down. He's got to open up that box. It's got to have, a rock, 5 or 6 carats. A rock. And, the world will melt. But if they don't win the game, you can't do all that. So that's why the fix is in, guys.
So, but the challenge will be, if Kelce has a good enough game to win MVP, how does he outplay Mahomes in regards to the voters, or is that part of the fix?
It's all fixed.
It's all part of the fix.
Part of the fix.
It's all fixed.
Because Mahomes is going to be the one getting the ball.
I saw it on TV a couple of nights ago. It's all fixed. I didn't realize that, but after watching
you were convinced
for 20 minutes. I was convinced the fix is in. I'm easily swayed.
I hope.
Did Vince McMahon write the script for the fix?
I don't know.
It will be utter chaos on the show Monday morning if that happens. If it happens as you play out, there will be even Chiefs fans that are just like shaking their heads that night and that morning. I'll go to bed. I'm not watching that post-game ceremony. As soon as the game ends, unless it's a blowout.
Oh, if you
I'll be out.
think Kelsey's going to win the MVP, and
then you're not doing your duty.
No,
just wake up early.
You've got to be ready to comment on everything.
Yeah.
The following day.
If he asked Taylor Swift to marry him on the field and you're not going to watch that?
I got news for you, Ty. You're not going to be able to break down the game any better than the people that folks have watched during the course of Sunday evening. You're just not going to be able to do that. So what you've got to do is you got to focus on the after party, man.
I'll watch the replays in the morning. I have a very rigid, strict schedule that I abide by, and part of that is not staying up past 10:30, and the festivities I would think would probably go past that at that point.
The game's at 5:30. It'll be over by 8:45. You can watch till 10:30. You'll be fine.
We'll see if it's worth my time to watch this pregame festivities. Again,
I don't watch the pregame.
Pregame, no thank you.
Postgame,
I don't watch the pregame at
all of it. Again, I'm there for the football.
Pardon me for not knowing. Who's doing the national anthem? I know Usher's halftime.
Ooh, that would be.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
It's a combination. Big C, look that up real quick. It's a combination of, I think, 2 people, if I remember that right. I think it's
Whitney Houston's still the gold standard. Won't be touched.
I think it's one country artist. And
if they ever turn Carrie Underwood loose on that and just let her do her own thing, she could reach Whitney level, I believe.
Reba McEntire and Post Malone? Is what I'm saying.
Post Malone and Reba.
I think that's
They're
right.
going to do a duet. That's interesting.
And this one's saying Usher. This one's saying
Usher's halftime.
Usher's
okay,
halftime,
yeah.
What's the over-under on the time? That's always the question. Is what's the over-under on the
2-something,
time?
you know?
Yeah.
Right at 2 minutes usually.
And I think that the rule of thumb on the timing is you can't get that time in the United States. Like, you can't bet on it in the United States. You have to bet on the time of the national anthem overseas. I feel like I read that somewhere because it can be
that can be easily fixed.
Yeah,
I would think.
and also in addition to that, you can't bet in the United States the amount of times that Taylor's shown on TVs because they're scared about producers getting paid at CBS. So isn't that wild? When I first read that, I was like, "There's no way." And then,
well, it just adds to the fix.
Yeah.
It just adds to the conspiracy.
Part of it.
It's vast.
It's part of it at that
Deep.
point.
Yeah.
deep.
Oh,
Part of this era.
I don't declare myself a 49ers
There's
fan,
the Taylor drop.
Yeah, that's that was well done.
Yeah.
That was well placed. But I don't have a huge support on either team, but because Dre's on and Brandon are on the 49ers, I would say I'll pull.
But you're all about the football. You're all about the football.
Man.
He's
Football
Mr. Serious over
football
here.
and the food.
Yeah.
Again,
Mr. Serious.
for those that missed it, go to the party for the first half. Get your food. If you drink that day, that's fine. I'm not going to because I got to wake up at 3:30 the next morning.
He's got responsibilities, folks.
Then at halftime, go home and watch the sport.
You got up at 3:30 for this? I mean, really?
I legitimately do.
I don't make him. He just,
I just can't
He's
help
on a
it, man.
rigid schedule. Didn't you hear, Chuck? He is on a rigid schedule.
And then because we don't have this sacred sport for 7 months, enjoy it in the sanctity of your own home. Because the next 7 months, while we do have the NCAA tournament, while we will watch Arkansas win its first ever College World Series on June the 24th or 5th, whatever day that Monday night is, we don't have football for 7 freaking months.
You're more dramatic than the Swifties. I mean, you really are. You are being so dramatic right now.
It's football. It is the greatest,
Oh my
the sanctuary.
God.
It's the greatest time of the year, and it's about to be withheld from us for 7 whole months.
It's happened before.
Yeah.
It'll happen
And it's
again.
painful.
We'll survive.
It's
You'll
painful. We have to get through it. For those that
Good
are
Lord.
single and that don't find time in anything else outside of going and traveling the United States,
You
this
are
is what
laying it on thick.
Yes. But for the single men listening, which there's plenty of them this morning, and for the single ladies who enjoy their football, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
And unfortunately,
It's amazing you're still single with all these views you have. I don't know how you haven't been scooped up.
You know what? As y'all said earlier, as boisterous and as loud, as obnoxious I am about how men are no longer men in 2024 when it comes to certain aspects of marriage, relationships, and whatnot, I will probably be lumped into that exact same category that I am so outlandishly against.
I mean, when
the
word gets out that there's a single man available out there that likes to leave the party at halftime and not drink during the Super Bowl, I'm sure they're going to be lined up soon. I mean, I bet if I looked out the window of the studio, they're probably out there now in the parking lot waiting on you.
I see 1 or 2 of them out there. We got our window open this morning to check them out at this point. Yes, I am a little over dramatic with my football because I've grown up since I was about 2 years old or 1 year old with a football in the crib, and it's the best time of the year. The fall is the best time of the year. Then the season ends in February. Life turns to crap for about 7 months, and then we roll back and we start it all over again.
Just glad to know you're a bigger fan than the rest of us.
I'm not a bigger fan than anyone listening. I just really enjoy
You
this
just
time of
love
year.
it more.
I don't want to, in this situation, a lot of people feel this way that are single. You're not single. You got other things that occupy your time. That's all well and good.
All right,
It's just different story.
Okay.
Different
All right,
story.
Chuck and I'll drink
Move
your beer
on.
for you.
Page 2.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk to Ryan in Hot Springs, who apparently is excited about the merging of the USFL and the XFL. What's up, Ryan?
Well, I'm just here's what I'm gonna say first, bro. You need a hobby because some of us, football season kind of ended back middle of November when the Hawks started. Now, I'm not saying that's me, but I'm just saying I know a lot of fans that jumped off the bandwagon and they went to worrying about other stuff. But I will say this: I know I got kind of pre-warned how you feel about the USFL and the XFL, but it is football at the end of the day. But I'll enjoy it a little bit. Keep me occupied. I'd rather watch that than golf, I think. But I'm just saying we still do kind of got it. But man, I think you're being a little over dramatic there, Bubba. I hope you'll have a great day. Go Hogs.
Well, got a text here on the McCarty Daniel hotline. Yes, I am over dramatic from time to time. That is one of my shortcomings at 29 years old. But we do have golf now, and golf weather is going to be 70-plus degrees today across a good chunk of Arkansas. So I guess I can, again, put all the time and invest everything that I've done with football the last 5 months into golf.
Well,
Playing golf and watching golf are 2
I'm
different
not going to
things.
watch golf. I'll watch the Masters. I'll watch the other 3 events, and then I'll watch a little bit of the Waste Management.
What
Open
are
this
those
weekend.
other 3 events?
U.S. Open, British Open, PGA Championship. Come on, big dog.
Well, it's
Have
not
some
the British.
respect.
It's the Open Championship.
Whatever. Same
Show
difference.
some respect. The guy knows the 4 major golf championships. That's That's why he's got a show. He knows all four of them.
All four of them. What's the fifth major,
I'm
by the way?
never self-proclaimed with the fifth. There's no fifth major. That's
Yeah,
a trick
there's one.
question.
Yeah, there is.
There
the
is.
Players.
Yeah.
The
That's
Players is the fifth major.
That's a throwaway major.
No,
that doesn't,
Sawgrass?
That doesn't count. I
Island
don't
Games?
self-proclaim to be a huge golf fan. I just want to get decent at golf this year. But that will occupy
You're no
my
Grant
time.
Hall, that's for sure.
No, I'm not at this point. All right, what do you want to do a read since we're at that point? Chuck, you want to
Tremendous
You got things to say?
I've got something to say. But I wanted
He got up at 3:30 to say that.
I wanted.
I was going to say, man, what'd you do for those 2.5 hours?
Tell
before
us
the show
about
started?
money. Tell us
All
about
right,
money.
let's talk about the Market Moment podcast for just a minute. We're into 2024. What are interest rates going to be like? I mean, every time you turn on the news, you hear somebody talking about interest rates. They talk about it on the Market Moment podcast. They talk about whatever the big financial news is nationally. They'll break it down and they'll bring it home to you. And they've also got a lot of great advice on a lot of the things that you could do with your money. Maybe you're doing now, ways to make it better. These are local financial experts. And you can check out the latest episode of the Market Moment podcast by heading to market-moment.com. That's market-moment.com. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
Speaking of money, how much do we think Nick Saban is getting paid by ESPN?
I want to know how much you're getting paid by ESPN to keep talking about Nick Saban. I mean, this has been the Nick Saban show all morning. Are you getting payola on the side to keep bringing him up?
And are you going to share it with us?
That's right.
Was this not a hot topic in y'all's text group? This is all my friends could talk about yesterday.
Really?
Was Nick Saban. I just
friends.
Is it not? Do you guys? I'll throw that away. I just assumed this was something that y'all wanted to talk about.
We have talked about it.
We've talked about it a lot.
Yeah, and it's another hour. There's new listeners, right?
You have a point.
We
I
don't-
think it's.
We don't have to talk
I think it's
about
the
it.
greatest thing in football since the forward pass.
I mean, if we don't, we can move on to something
Just
else.
because I make a little joke doesn't mean you have to stop the segment. Just move on and keep talking about it.
You want to
You
get
want me to get that out of the trash can
Yeah,
for you?
since I
You don't
threw that
remember
away at this
anything you
point.
I mean, you
said the
threw
first
your notes
2
away
hours?
now. You don't have anything to talk about.
Well, how much do we think he's
I didn't
making?
mean to ruin the segment for you there, Ty. You've been up since 3:30 though. I thought you could maybe,
He's
I
sleep
thought maybe
deprived.
you
He's
were ready for a
delirious.
blindside blitz or something.
My coffee's running low, Chuck. I don't have much of this stuff left. So how much do we think he's making? Is he making more than he was at Bama? No? He's not making
Maybe half.
10+ million? Think he's making 5?
No.
Not even
I don't think
5.
he's making 5.
Okay.
I don't think he's making 5.
What do they pay Herb Street?
Oh, a lot. Good chunk. He's
not making that much.
He's the, I want to say.
Herb Street's the heart and soul of the show.
Yeah, so Buck and Aikman are making an insane amount. I think Stephen A. Smith is right behind them. And I think Herb Street is the 4th highest paid person at ESPN, 4th or 5th. So he's making a good chunk.
And plus, I mean, he's doing Amazon games. He's on a lot of those shows, college football shows a lot. I mean, I'm sure he is the highest paid, or at least one of them.
I don't imagine Miss Terry will have to slow down her Amazon orders.
I think she's good. She
Yeah.
can keep plugging away if she wants to keep getting stuff for the house, lake house, or that new home in Jupiter, Florida.
Hey, you could win the ultimate Valentine's Day getaway from hitthatline.com, Richard's Country Meat Market, and Cupid's Lingerie of Northwest Arkansas. Go to hitthatline.com. We're giving away a trip to the historic Arlington in downtown Hot Springs. It includes everything you need to have a great weekend getaway for you and your significant other. It's brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market, by Cupid's Lingerie of Northwest Arkansas. No purchase necessary. Enter now at hitthatline.com.
All right, more of the Morning Rush coming back on a Too Stupid Thursday.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when He does, people will try and hide their faces from Him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
The largest selection of everything. Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Are you looking for a change of scenery? Lavorne Lumber is looking to hire a Class A CDL flatbed driver for a regional position. Lavorne Lumber is highly competitive in pay. Lavorne Lumber is a family-owned lumber and trucking company. Home most nights and every single weekend. Guaranteed. Lavorne Lumber has top-of-the-line equipment. If you're interested in the job, stop by Lavorne Lumber at 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith Monday through Friday from 9 to 4.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
I think you could say till the world blows up. It's not going to happen. I don't even know why we're talking about this.
We could talk about the basketball team getting drilled by 21, but
Okay. You got me there.
You win that.
Got me there.
You win that argument.
All right, you got me there.
All right, we will talk a little more Arkansas basketball tomorrow as Georgia comes into town after a 10-point victory earlier this year. Tommy, by the way, Weston Benville texts in and says, it's your fiduciary duty to teach me how to drive a stick shift as the elder of the show.
I'll pass that on to the senior elder in Clay Henry. We'll let him.
Does Clay know how to drive a stick shift?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone here but you does.
God, what are you talking about?
Well, Tommy just said he didn't know how.
Oh, I know how to drive a stick shift. I don't want to teach you to drive it, and I certainly don't want to be the one working on
to
it.
Teach anybody.
No, I don't want to work on the clutch or the transmission when you're done with it.
Is it difficult?
Well, once you get the hang of it, no. But at first, it's different.
Isn't it just like the Karate Kid where you're like doing the grapes and the wax on, wax off?
No,
and you just translate that to the. No,
there's a little more feel involved.
Well, sounds like Clay's got a new job he's got to do. Phil just texted in this morning on the McCarty Daniel Hotline. He said he'll teach me how to drive a stick.
Well, we'll pass.
That's
that
one
duty along to
ESPN
him.
Arkansas member. That's a true coworker this morning.
Good for Phil. We love you and appreciate you taking that on. Hey, TGI Fridays has happy hour twice daily. It's our kind of place. Twice a day they have happy hour, 3 to 6 and then 9 to close. Half-price drinks on their special menu and $5 appetizers, including things like potato skins, spinach dip, mozzarella sticks, pot stickers, and their steakhouse meatballs, all for $5. You can enjoy that on Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 and 9 to close. Don't forget Mondays are special because you love some wings, Ty. 50-cent wings on Mondays. You can have those at TGI Fridays. TGI Fridays, happy hour, 3 to 6 and 9 to close, Monday through Friday. TGI Fridays, 540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
I had some Nashville hot ones, 20 of them last time. They were quite good. Chuck, what did you make of the new ESPN, Fox, Warner Brothers sports streaming service? I mean, it's just basically cable streaming. Is there any teeth to this at all? You think people will move to just this moving forward that are diehard sports fans and don't really care about other channels?
I really don't know. I haven't pondered that, to be honest with you. I think that some of the streaming services are good and some aren't. You can get nickeled and dimed to death if you're not careful. Yep. Doesn't move the needle for me one way or the other.
I think when you're choosing whether you're going to add something, it has to be they got to have more than one thing you want to watch. Hard to sign up for anything that's more than $5 a month if they've only got one program, one show, one piece of content you care about. And this particular, and I don't know what it's going to cost. That's the other thing. We hadn't heard.
They have not
announced the price. And this will not be $5.99 a month. This will be probably $19.99 a month or something of that nature. People are cutting the cord. They have been for a while. People are going to start cutting their streaming plans down. And to be able to have it all in one place where you don't, the convenience of not having to log out of one app to get into another.
That's what the big holdup for me is.
Yeah, and that's what this will do is consolidate all the sports you want to watch into one, so I don't have to get out of Peacock to go over to Paramount, to go over to ESPN. It's cumbersome. And I don't, that's one reason I hang on to my satellite plan. The previous button doesn't work the way it should. I mean, it's cumbersome. So this will help consolidate all your sports viewing into one package.
Streaming's great. I mean, there are things. Sometimes I watch games on my iPad, and I watch a lot of games on my iPad, and I think, wow, what a world we live in now, where I can watch a game and look how great this picture is. But it's still not the same as watching it on the television, satellite, cable, the immediacy. All of those things are, streaming's good, but it's not great, in my opinion. And for me, it doesn't move the needle the way it does for some.
Yep. All right. Well, speaking of if I can say it, speaking of streaming, Roger Goodell is a crook for making NFL fans watch a playoff game on streaming earlier this year. The great Mad Dog Russo wholeheartedly agrees.
The answers that they give you, well, a younger audience, we have all sorts of surveys that indicate that they are going to streaming. And the Dolphin-Chief game this year, the younger audience attendance was superb. So essentially, we almost have to go to streaming for our business model. Now, hold on. What are we, an idiot? I got younger kids. They stream, but they're sports fans. You think they couldn't find a game on NBC?
Ding, ding, ding. It is not that difficult. There was 10 more million people that watched another playoff game that exact same weekend because it wasn't on streaming. Here's the rub. They're doing it next year. They're going to do it the year after that probably. And they're going to continue to do this till we get to a point where every single playoff game, with the exception of maybe the Super Bowl, you're going to have to pay pay-per-view, and it's going to be on streaming. I don't have an issue when a game is on cable or game's on ESPN, whatever the case, and you have the option to stream. I have an issue when you have to go out of your way with everything else you pay in your life, with everything else you pay for sports watching and viewing, and then you have to pay an additional fee. I wholeheartedly agree with Mad Dog there. Like, you should be ticked off as an NFL fan or any fan for that matter, having to pay extra for so much of what you already pay this year.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. I think people are getting ripped off. But, evidently enough people are doing it that it's worthwhile for the NFL to continue this. So I just think that this is how it's going to be. I don't like it any more than you do, but I don't think it's going away.
Yeah, I hate it that it's going to continue to be here. Yeah, you're exactly right, Tommy. It is. All right, we still got a lot to talk about in your SEC update. What happened last night in Auburn, Alabama? Charles Barkley came on the broadcast, shared what he said, and also what happened in the game where Auburn just steamrolled Alabama, as did Alabama earlier this year against Auburn. So a lot of teams at the top of the SEC, plus some other SEC games and some other news when we come back on a Too Stupid Thursday edition of the Morning Rush right here on ESPN Arkansas and everywhere on the world and hitthatline.com.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Clint Sterner, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Tommy Kraft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Get ready for a new year of work with limited time savings on Bobcat equipment at Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas and Rogers. Get as low as 0% for 72 months on a Bobcat compact tractor, or choose a free front-end loader when you buy with cash. Special offers are also available on Bobcat zero-turn mowers with financing as low as 0% for 48 months, or rebates up to $900 on select models. Call Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas or come by to get these great deals. Hurry, these offers end March 31st. Some exclusions apply.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV now through the end of February. We're rolling out the red carpet for you with our exclusive employee pricing event on select in-stock trailers. That's right, you pay what we pay. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing Wheels RV. Employee pricing on select models. RV show pricing on all new and used inventory. Hurry in, this offer is for a limited time only. Visit Wheels RV today for details and to start planning your next great adventure. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorback!
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
3rd District Arkansans have a proven leader in Washington, United States Representative Steve Womack. As mayor, Representative Womack led an impressive transformation of the city of Rogers with more than $1 billion in local development. In the military, Colonel Womack commanded troops at every level, including leading his battalion on a successful deployment to the Middle East following 9/11. In Congress, Representative Womack led the House Budget Committee in 2018, co-chaired the Joint Select Committee on Budget Process Reform, and currently serves as a senior appropriator. Throughout Arkansas's 3rd District, you can see his work on vital infrastructure like I-49 and XNA, national security issues like the F-35 mission in Fort Smith, and dozens of projects benefiting Arkansas communities. On March 5th, re-elect a proven leader, Representative Steve Womack.
Paid for by Womack for Congress.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. We know that now more than ever, you want to maximize your tax refund, and we're here to help with road-ready certified pre-owned vehicles. They are simply the best used cars you can buy. Plus, our experience and relationships with the banks and lenders helps us get the payment you need while keeping more of your money in your pocket. Maximizing your money, another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Gelco Outdoors is ready to help keep you warm during the cold winter days. Keep warm in insulated bib overalls, jackets, coats, vests, socks, gloves, boots, and underwear. Warm up with great savings on the 50% off clearance racks of men's, women's, and children's casual wear. Gelco has a great selection of Little Buddy space heaters. Gelco Outdoors, your local store for cold winter gear. Be safe and stay warm from Gelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Subiaco in Scranton, if you made a resolution to get reliable internet for the new year, Wave Rural Connect can make that happen. The latest zone covering Subiaco in Scranton is now open. Make this New Year's resolution come true with internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or phone 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
All right, so you got 4 teams at the top of the SEC. One team doesn't have the same amount of wins, but they're basically neck and neck. 3 teams at 8-2 in the conference: South Carolina, Auburn, and Bama. Auburn got the better of Alabama last night in their second matchup. The final ended up being, 99-81. Some other games that went final last night: Tennessee got a 20-point win over LSU. A&M got a 19-point win over the Tigers in Columbia, and then Mississippi State got a 13-point win over the Bulldogs in Starkville to this point. So, Tommy, if I told you that South Carolina, Auburn, Alabama, and Tennessee all had a chance to make the Final Four, is that a statement you would agree with or a statement you would disagree with?
All have a chance, yeah. I'd agree. I'd agree with chance. You said Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, and who'd you say was?
And South Carolina, your top dog.
I would. Now, the question should be who's most likely of that group to make it.
Is it weird that I think it's Tennessee, even though they've never, ever in the history of that football program in Knoxville been to a Final Four?
I think they're the best team of that lot, I think. But are they going to play the best basketball they need to play in late March? That's what we don't trust.
Mm-hmm. That remains to be seen.
Final fours right now, we'd put him in. Dalton Connect may be the best player in the country. He's amongst them, at least.
So you got the freshman of the year is Dillingham at Kentucky. Player of the year is Connect in Knoxville. And coach of the year is Lamont Paris at South Carolina to this point. Studi might be the addition of the year coming over from Vanderbilt, what he's been for that South Carolina Gamecocks team. I wonder how much of Arkansas's failures this season is also a byproduct of the SEC being really good and clearly the second best conference in college basketball. Like I think it's the Big 12, I think it's the SEC, and then the teams after that, and the conferences after that, you can throw out whoever, but there's I think a wide gap. I think the gap's pretty close between the SEC and the Big 12, and then I think there's a wide gap between everyone else.
You think the Big 12?
They're top dog. Yeah, they're top dog.
Houston is Houston's added a lot to that league.
Yeah, dude, Houston is Kelvin Sampson. What he's done the last he's been out there a decade or something. Maybe not that much. They've been great. I mean, they have been unbelievable. And I know they got smacked around a little bit in Lawrence, but teams typically do when they go out in the field house. And unfortunately, that's just
not easy.
That happens. But he got tossed. You see the other night? They're up 20. He gets tossed out of that game. How many times do you see a head coach get tossed out of a game when they're up 20 points? It's a very rare occurrence in that thing. But yeah, the SEC is loaded, and a lot of teams are again contending not just for NCAA tournament appearances, but contending for wins as well. What I get annoyed by, Tommy, is the fact that Auburn and Alabama, as they often are in football, are good in basketball. And it's been like that the last couple of years. Oates has done a really good regular season job. Pearl's done a good job both in the regular season and postseason. And they're two of the top teams in basketball, too.
Well, you finally found coaches there. I mean, Bruce Pearl came in and made it a tough environment to go play. Now, they built a new building and all that, but, they don't have they don't have a 20,000 seat arena. That's a tough place because they win. Nate Oates, don't like him personally, but, hey, he's one of the better coaches in the country. So, I mean, this guy's a winner. It's all about the coach. You say what you want, but finding the right coach is the secret ingredient, and they found it down in the state of Alabama at both schools.
Yep, they've done a good job to this point. And one more thing here, I got some bad news to share, and I hate to be the one that has to do this. I saw that Hogbeat had this Mason Choate that Peyton Stovall confirmed this with the team spokesman, suffered a broken foot in Monday's scrimmage in Baum Walker, and is out 4 to 6 weeks, which kind of times out SEC play getting started and getting going. So, hopefully for Peyton, he has a full recovery. He was injured last year, shoulder, I think. This year, the foot. We saw as a true freshman, especially postseason wise. He's got a lot of baseball in his career ahead of him. But Tommy's doing looks like the last 2 seasons with some injury concerns.
All right, that's your SEC updates brought to you by Bet Saracen. This is a big weekend. A lot of people will. Some will download an app for the first time this weekend. If you're going to do so, choose Bet Saracen this weekend. It's Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. You can't use it, inside the state of Arkansas. National apps or international apps, they don't work here. The only apps that work are the ones here at Arkansas, and it's clear that Bet Saracen's the #1 choice for Arkansans. NFL, college, and, of course, all the Super Bowl bets you want are going to be there this weekend. College basketball, as you mentioned, heating up. They'll have everything you need, not just now, but through the tournament as well. Hey, it's simple. Just go to the Apple App Store, download Bet Saracen, or go to betsaracen.com. Be sure and check out the really cool videos they have on how to play and how to best use the app. It's all there. And get more details at betsaracen.com.
So as we wrap up the show this morning, I do want to share some encouraging news. Arkansas didn't get a signee, but got a commitment yesterday from 4-star Marion lineman Carius Kern, depending on what service, #1 player in the state, class of 2025. Listen to this kid's offers, Tommy. Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, Missouri, Mississippi State, Florida, Ole Miss, a couple others with some non-SEC schools that have been he has been offered as well. This is a big kid. This big get. Your 2025 class, you're starting to try and shape that up a little bit, and you always need a line of scrimmage. This kid that plays on the offense or defensive line, depending on where he projects in the next level. And I know some Arkansas coaches and some fans were happy about this yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the tweets that came out and all this. I mean, that's obviously a place you need to rebuild, but not going to help you right away. So, but I do like the fact that, while it all seems to be on the line this year for Sam Pittman, They are doing a heck of a job recruiting the 25 or 20, even down to the 26 class, and looking at high school sophomores and the offers that have come there. They have really put their efforts into the future of recruiting.
So that's football news again for Arkansas football as we come back to the big game this weekend and the Super Bowl and what we have in store. My line of thinking is it's going to be a really good game. Are you in that same side of things too? Does this have a bigger chance to be a blowout than I anticipate this weekend because of the quarterback difference and because of maybe the talent difference that San Francisco had over KC?
But San Francisco's defense probably levels that out. Wouldn't you say San Francisco's defense has a pretty noticeable edge over Kansas City's?
KC's better.
You think?
Mm-hmm. This is the best defense that Spagnuolo's had since Andy's been a part of Andy Reid. They've been unbelievable this year. They've carried the offense's jockstrap for most of the year.
That's been the strength, though, of the team. For and maybe it's because of the quarterback, but Purdy is not what we want to still describe him as Mr. Irrelevant and all of these. He's not that anymore. He's only making $800,000. Well, he's going to make a whole lot more moving forward.
Does he lose that title? Because I know that the game manager title, what was interesting is the 49ers were kind of forthcoming that they tried to get Brady out of retirement this past season. And that kind of was a rumor, and then it came out. If you're the starting quarterback and Brock Purdy, I don't know how you feel about it. No, I'm not talking about for this year, for the year before when Brady was actually in retirement. Again, this is after Garoppolo got injured, Lance got injured, and they were thrust into their third string, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. But since then, he's gained a lot. Again, credit Dre Greenlaw for helping him through some tough times when they had that stint or that stretch where they went 0-3. But does he lose that title if they win this weekend? For Brock, is this game bigger for Purdy to get out of he's just a game manager, he's not the 49ers franchise moving forward, or is it Mahomes and putting him in that Montana echelon? Because if he wins this weekend, he's in that Montana echelon, and there will be some that say he's better.
And I don't know. I mean, does Mahomes even? I mean, Montana was so long ago, and I know he's tied to the Chiefs organization because that's where he went last. But I imagine Mahomes is more worried about being in an echelon with Tom Brady or Peyton Manning than he probably thinks about Montana. More on the same lines as I don't know how much Montana was thinking about Bart Starr. You know what I mean? It just so, the era is so different. I mean, Montana was the greatest quarterback of my childhood in teenage years. Troy Aikman, was right there behind him in that time. He had Randall Cunningham, and yet, he had some really good quarterbacks. Jim McMahon and leading the Bears in '85. But I don't imagine Patrick Mahomes sits and wonders, how can I catch Joe Montana? I don't imagine that's a constant thought with him.
Brady talked about to his teammates that he wasn't going for Montana. He was going for Jordan. He surpassed Jordan. Got 7 Super Bowls and 10 appearances at that point. I think Mahomes, Tommy, you mentioned Peyton Manning. He's past Peyton Manning. You know why? Because of postseason. Manning's issue consistently, and I think Peyton Manning's a tremendous off-the-field guy. I love his anytime he does anything with Eli, I think it's hilarious because they're just kind of weird and quirky. And I know he's a Tennessee guy. Eli's an Ole Miss guy. I like them, though. I think they're hilarious. And I like when their father, Archie, gets in some action, too. But he's already, again, this would be his third. Manning only had 2. They've been to more already than Manning. I think he's past him. I know that's weird saying, and I know a lot of, I'd say old school. Manning's more like middle-aged, like in terms of your guy. But I think he surpassed him at this point because of what he does in the big time, baby.
And he's gotten to meet Taylor Swift. Yeah. So on top of all of that, he's probably gotten to party with Taylor Swift. Manning, not so much.
How do you, if you're a player and you're Travis Kelce, because he gets asked that question. He gets asked questions all the time. Like, how do you keep that? He's managed in his 2 best games. What's crazy to me is Kelce in his 2 best games he's played all year have come against playoff opponents in Buffalo country, in Orchard Park. No, it's not Orchard Park yet, but it was Orchard Park. And then when they played against Baltimore, the best defense in the league all year. Mm-hmm. He has his 2 best games. The mental fortitude that you have to do that as a guy that's got so many distractions, at least seemingly from our perspective around him, is unbelievable to me. how he's able to keep everything in focus in the two biggest games of the year.
That's why they're elite athletes. Their ability to focus and compartmentalize is on another level. The ability to block out the distractions of the world or at home or whatever and do, as Belichick loved to say, do your job. It's not easy, when things are going sideways in your personal life, and I'm not saying they're sideways for him, but there's a lot of distractions, obviously, right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's living in a fishbowl more so than ever. And you think you're a superstar when you're, an NFL star. We think sports stars are the biggest stars in the world. And we found out with Taylor Swift, there's bigger things than being the biggest sports star in the world. Because she is 100 times what probably anyone is in the NFL right now.
Yep. I get distracted if there's
I don't necessarily like having to admit to that, but it's true.
I get distracted when there's a fly in the room here in the radio studios, and this doesn't seem to distract me.
So your
at all.
ability to focus is not on the same level.
It's not. You know what? As surprising as that is, Tom, I know you're surprised to hear this for the first time. It's not on the level of a Super Bowl winning and competitive athlete. It's hard to fathom that this morning.
The heck you say?
It's hard. So we appreciate everyone joining. I know that sounds stupid, but it is here on a Too Stupid Thursday this morning.
All right. So if you missed any of the show or you just got to relive some of this hilarity this morning, it'll be up on the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast a little bit later on.
Yep. HitThatLine.com, wherever you listen to podcasts. All you got to do is search Hit That Line. For Chuck Barrett, for Tom Murphy, for Tommy Kraft, and Christian Johnston, I'm Ty Richardson. Back tomorrow, I guess, on our final Football Friday of the year.
Get ready for adventure with unbeatable deals at Wheels RV now through the end of February.